So, we kick things off. It's Trickster versus Crasu in the round of 16. Trickster winning Group A with a perfect campaign in terms of hooks. A surprise story of the tournament so far. Facing Crasu, who came in very strong, but has had some nerfs in the midst of the campaign. Might be a different killer altogether. We'll see. Trickster versus Krasue. It's Trickster up first. Trickster's got Badham, though. Not a good map for Trickster. Not what you want to see, especially in this most pivotal of situations, a round of 16. Alright. Managing the map already a little bit. Kicking down that door, which can be an irritant if left standing. So there's a bit of movement here. There goes Steve. One blade connects, but a few thrown, so the blade economy already a little bit in shambles. Can't let such things get to him, though. Ooh, should have maybe made main event happen there. Okay, thankfully for Trickster, Steve doesn't take an amazing line, so it's a reasonably quick dying state. Hoping for pain res. And should be able to get it over here. Ooh, but will he get it before that gem pops? Yes! They move away from it. Good stuff in Trickster. That is, of course, the gem that does pop. And there was someone walking around here, maybe walking into the building. Scratch marks here. Trickster's on them. It's Trevor. And a real chance of Starstruck here. That is one of Trickster's perks that he is running. We'll have another 5 seconds or so of exposed. Won't be able to connect with it, unfortunately. Trevor just keeps away. The unhook off to the right. Let's here come the blades. The ricochet not doing too much right now. Unfortunately for Trickster, has to settle for the M1 as Trevor drops down. Could Trickster make the mind game happen here? Ooh, not quite. But Trevor doesn't go for the pallet, at least not the one downstairs. Takes a dying state. Alright. However, a gen does pop. There goes another one. You wouldn't be too worried about one gen. 2 gens popping. That becomes a bit concerning. Looking for pain res, at the very least, before that 3rd gen pops. Pain res may well hit on this gen over here. And it does. Okay, not the most impactful of pain res hits, as there's barbecue over there. So 2 hooks, 2 gens done. Honestly, a game state in which either party could come out on top. So don't drop the pallet there. Big opportunity here. Big opportunity there. Oh, 2 blades away. Should be doable for Trickster. There it is. Big decision to make here. Are you that fussed about pain res? Trickster's going to leave pain res for later. Get the hook here. Hoping that this remains the only gem with any kind of progress. In fact, it's fully regressed, so maybe a very good call. The unhook was here. The heal. There's a chance they went downstairs for the heal. That's what Trickster thinks. That's where he's heading. Nothing going on there. Okay. Decent chase. Good hook. Oh, big gem movement here. Big gem movement here. Maybe should have been thinking about pain res. Gets it regressing nonetheless. Ooh. As there's Steve, who doesn't burn the pallet. There's the injury. Into main event here, perhaps. Looking to get a little bit closer before popping it. There it goes. Hoping the ricochet can do something. Doesn't need the ricochet. Gets the dying state. Is this survivor going to look for the pallet save? They were thinking about it. It's Nicolas Cage. Looking for the injury here is Trickster. Gets it. Okay. Nicolas Cage out of there. Although, Okay, keeps on going. So this should be a hook here. Oh, it isn't. It isn't. Michaela was right there to go for the save. Trying to send the ricochet blades downstairs. Really fails to do so. Another pallet save here at the worst kind of time. Gets the dying state again, eventually. That is a very, very rough situation. Which loses the Trickster valuable time. Oh, and there's Michaela. Just has sprint burst. Nonetheless, Trickster able to push him away from the gen, get the kick, get the regressing, get rid of this pallet. Reasons to be cheerful about that entire exchange. As he reloads. There is, of course, gen movement off to the right that you've got to keep on top of. As Trevor tries to commit, not able to. Heads around the side. Look for the injury here. Doesn't get it. Is this live? And close to the injury here. Oh, good call from Trevor to move around the side. Drops the pallet. That's a dying state. But again, it's a survivor who has no pain res tokens to give, so not going to keep the gens regressed with that. And another one pops. And another one has progress. And this one is not regressing, so needs a kick. Two schools of thought about what Trickster should do here. Do you try and get those pain res tokens, slow the game down, or do you try and get survivors out of there? And I think he's going to be leaning toward the latter, trying to make this a 3-survivor game as soon as possible. Easier said than done. There's the unhook. 5 hook stages right now, and even with the nerfs of Crasu, it feels like that is not going to get it down against a killer of that strength, of that power level. Says the unhook. Nicolas Cage here, not who Trickster would ideally like to see. However, pain res could be useful. There's at least some reason to be going for Nicholas at a time like this. Main event. Oh, really? There you go. There you go. The ricochet blade's finally doing something for Trickster. That add-on has been a bit of a damp squib all game long, all tournament long, I should say. Finally gets a dying state and a pivotal pain res, which of course hits on that gen over there. No aura reading is fascinating. There could be someone down here. There is certainly gem movement down here. Can Trickster put a stop to that? Scratch marks heading off to the outside. They're going to shack. Ooh. 2 very, very scary gens right now. If there were scratch marks heading this way, a non-zero chance that someone would be hiding here to look to get back on the gens as soon as possible. Can't really be too worried about that. As it'll be Michaela. Michaela, who's been a thorn in the side of the Trickster, getting the gem for the unhook, which is a good call. Especially considering the game states that they have, and they'll run into the school. And there's the unhook. Trevor's given away a little bit of something there. Injury. Drops down. Main event. And in a room like this, tough to see a way that you come out of it unscathed. And there is a dying state. Needs this hook immediately. Unfortunately, and I think Trevor knows what he's doing there. Takes a dying state in an area where the Trickster has to take a bit of a circuitous path to even get to a hook. Those are valuable seconds, especially with both gens moving in the endgame. As there's someone crouching by the gen over here. If they're moving the gen, It might have popped by now. But they're doing no such thing. And Trickster knows exactly where they are. Barbecue and chili in place. Sprint burst. Wow. Has Michaela just thrown a lifeline to the Trickster in not moving that gem? Possibly. Main event right now. Oh my word. Because now, remember, Trickster saved that pain res hook. All those minutes ago. That comes back around like Chekhov's gun. Big gem regression in the third act. Was that a boon? Was that a boon out there? The team may have lost their sense of priorities right now. Says he unhook. Trickster needs a reload here. Needs a reload desperately. Needs those blades back. No real movement down there. Just wants to make sure that this gen isn't moving. Also, there's no nasty surprises. Over here there are not. It's all about this gen right now. Briefly thought the fire hydrant was Michaela. To confirm, it is not. It's a fire hydrant. Back to the gen. You want to make this a 2-survivor game as swiftly as you can. Big regression there, so that gen. Much less of a concern than it was. Nicolas Cage is not who you want to see. Nicolas Cage doing that is what you want to see, though. Oh, my words. Alright, Trickster very happy to take a chase like that if it's handed to him on a platter. What even went on there? As upstairs he goes, a very important hook here. Barbecue and chili could be fascinating here. Do you get any aura reading? No aura reading. What a surprise. Heading back to the gen here, which has been tapped. There was someone here. There's Steve, who's made some strange hiding plays. There's Michaela, who obviously made a very strange hiding play. There's the unhook. Now, 3 survivors left. All death hook. There are implications to how quickly Trickster can get through this game. Assuming it will be a 4K, which is a big assumption to make. If he can do it before that last gem pops, that makes the task all the tougher for the Crasu. She will also need to complete the 4K before the final gen completes. And he's looking good right now. He's looking good. 2-survivor situation. Michaela and Steve back on the gen over here. Shouldn't be able to pop it before Trickster gets back there. That would be a surprising amount of gen progress if that were to happen. Oof, it's moving. It's moving. Well, they're not quite able to. Needs the injury here. Gets it. Gets it. Gets the regression. Then going to get the reload. Very, very important. Getting that injury on Steve there. As the scratch marks seem to be going in the other direction. Hold on just a second. Very confusing set of scratch marks there. Make sure you're not being duped by Michaela, as you have been before. No? Okay. So, good stuff. Gets the injury on Steve. They might focus on the reset. If they do, that's valuable time in which the gen continues to regress. No movement over there. You'd love to find Steve. You'd love to find Steve over here and have the clear path to Shack to shut the hatch. Knowing, of course, that the hatch will spawn around Shack. Call it rat strats if you like. Whatever the case, the survivors are hiding well. Maybe playing a bit too conservatively there, Trickster. Kicking the gen rather than taking the chase. As it stands, not a bad call. The gen continues to regress. Steve went this way. Is there a chance that Steve is waiting somewhere in a corner? A noise notification. Fascinating. Fascinating stuff. This is Michaela, who may well be buying time for Steve. No, it isn't. It is Steve. Come on. Needs just 2 more blades to connect. Oh, dear. Very unfortunate there. Down Main Street. Couldn't find a way to connect with the blades. And this is time in which Michaela could very well be moving that gen. Vault there. Oh. Steve is living on a wing and a prayer right now. He's getting very, very lucky, and it is frustrating. Frustrating Trickster to no end as the laceration meter moves down. Michaela, on the gen. Great pivot from Trickster. Fantastic pivot from Trickster. Denies the gen, gets the hook, but wants to move as close to Shaq as possible. Shaq catch is what he'll be looking to deny. So ideally getting the hook here will be able to. Barbecue and chili. There's Steve. Okay. Great intel. No reason, however, to risk leaving hatch. You know where Steve is, even if they have adrenaline. Feels like it's a tough gate situation for them. There is no adrenaline. This could be game right now. And if it is, it would be a 4K with 1 gen remaining, as there's no way out. And there's Steve. And it's all over. 4K. And the team still had 1 generator remaining. That could be important in a tiebreak situation. All to do for Crasu. Says you hook. Well done, Trickster. Good game. Crasu on Red Forest. Quite right. Starting off with a song. But it's not all fun and games here. Needs a 4K. And needs to deny the final gen. The Trickster has completed a 4K with still 1 gen remaining. Crasu needs to do the same. Oh, my lord. Meg out of nowhere. Could have gone M1 there, didn't. Could have gone M1 there, could the Crasu. Didn't, and this will be a bit of a longer chase because of that. Pops the pallet. And doesn't get the dying state. Okay. So there you go. The impact of the nerfs to the Crasu. We might be seeing it in action right there. Oh, as hit Reg denies the Crasu. And could it be something of a Trickster coronation here? This is an overlong chase. The kind of chase to which Crasu has not become too accustomed recently, but finally gets a dying state. Hook here for Meg. But there goes the first gen. And remember, the moment that the survivors get the 5th and final gen, Crasu is eliminated. She will lose that to Trickster on the gens left tiebreaker, even if she gets a 4K. Goes back to body form. No real movement there. Nor there. It was upstairs gen that popped. There's the unhook. No movement here either. Movement here, okay. That will not connect. This should. It does. And, ooh. There is a bit of a delay now for Crasu. You can't regurgitate and then immediately M1. There is a period where you have to wait, which is probably quite right. Always felt very strange you could do that with Crasu. They've changed that now. And it is hurting. It is hurting her chances here. As they try and crouch to let the Crasu head form attack slip by. It doesn't work. Oof. Crasu doesn't get the hit there. Pivots to body form. Yui nearby. Regurgitation doesn't connect. Heads upstairs. That will connect. Forces the vault. Not a bad move from Crasu. Oh, but it's live. It's live. Just gives them that bit of distance. And there's the M1. Whiffing into the window. Yui fleeing the scene. should be the injury there in head form. All the while, gem movement off to the right, off to the left there. And good little misdirection from Yui. Gets a pallet with it. But that should be all she wrote. Yes, indeed. So second hook stage for Krasue. Needs to start kicking gems here. However, isn't benefiting from pain res in the way that Trickster was. So feeling like a kick here could be the right call. Can't wait to the pallet as well. Misses out on an opportunity to go after Meg, who was nearby. And has apparently fled the scene. Okay. As a gem pops up on the hill. Very unfortunate. So only 2 gens really left to play with now. Oh, and just missing at point blank range. You can't do that if you're Krasue. Station finally hits. They drop the pallet. Jill won't be thanking them for that sandbag. There's a dying state. Okay, huge. Huge for Krasue. Yui nearby. Oh, that doesn't connect. Takes the pallet stun. Got the head back. Got to get the hook. And a bit risky. Gonna hook before kicking the gen. Could lose it if there was someone getting on it immediately. Doesn't look like there will be. So, gen kick. Could have waited a little bit longer for eruption in retrospect, as that's one of the quickest unhooks of all time. To be honest, giving the green light to for Krasue to go for the tunnel here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Ah, head form is not going to get it done. That was a mental mistake from the Krasue there. It has to go to body form. One of the most outrageous pallet stuns of all time. And she senses that she's in danger here, Krasue. 1 more gem pops and she's on a knife edge. 2 more gens pop, she's out. And Yui's going to have to give something a little bit better if Krasue's going to move away from this chase. As Mick does come back for the pallets, the pallet burn. And that should be a dying state here. Dead hard? No. Dying state there. So we'll make it a 3-gen game. As Yui. Just a really, really bad decision from Yui to unhook that quickly. Now, whether it will have much of an impact remains to be seen. Oh, there was no pallet here. No matter, it should be a dying state unless there was a pallet right around here. There was, but Yui didn't go for it for whatever reason. Okay. Gets another hook. There is a way that Krasue is knocked out right here, right now. Oof. And it almost happened. If the survivors are moving 2 gens at the same time, there's big movement here. Pop goes a weasel, put a stop to that. And this will be Jill. Now the question becomes, where is Meg? And what gen, if any, is Meg working on? As that doesn't connect. She has been so lackluster with the regurgitation. That misses. Meg pops a gen. Okay. Krasue is sat on a knife edge right now. There's a regurgitation again. Misses. Sat on a knife edge. If she loses another gen, she is eliminated. But are the team now throwing a little bit? A trade taken on hook in a situation where maybe the trade didn't have to happen. Yui flees the scene. It's all about where Meg is. Then gets the unhook. Okay. Krasue really, really, really needs this dying state as soon as possible. Oh, and good stuff from Yui. Just faking Krasue out. Gets the window there. They will vault. And they've got Lithe, of course. They'll get a bit more distance than you otherwise might imagine. As Jill then takes a hit. Oh, and gets the medium vault. This should be a dying state. It will be. It really is all for naught, though, if Meg can get that gen. Goes for the hook. Needs to stay upstairs as Jill takes a hit. How far along is that gen? It did get hit by Pop. It did get hit by Eruption. Just need to get there as quickly as humanly possible. And it's not popped. Okay. It's not even close, in fact. So Pop goes Weasel there. Well, well, well. What a turnaround this could be. 2 survivors left. And in a round of 16, in which replays of games should be nigh on unimpossible, we are looking at exactly the same game state that we did with Trickster. Krasue, 2 survivor situation. 1 gem remaining. Needs to go about their business as quickly and efficiently as possible. Get the 4K here before that gen can complete. Ooh, it says movement on this gen over here. Won't connect with regurgitation. Gotta be a drop here, right? No, they flee the scene. They've done well there. They've done very well to work out where Krasue is going. That does hit. Headform in play. All the while, that gen could be moving. Oh, and just gets caught by the wall there. Eruption could be so important. Oh, and the gen pops. And she's out. She's out. Meg was moving the gen. So regardless of what she does here, Trickster had the better game. And Trickster will be through to the quarterfinals. Krasue is eliminated. Unbelievable stuff there. Just a really good effort in the death by these 2 survivors. And she's gonna go dejectedly to the gate panel. Speed this thing along. There's the unhook. Looks like they're healing. They are healing. And that'll be GG, I think. Oh. In the end, it didn't come down to gens. Krasue simply didn't get a 4K. So it is a convincing win for the Trickster, looking like it'll be an 8-hook performance. And it looks like those nerfs did have at least a little bit of an impact. Shutting the hatch here. Come on, Jill. The fun's over now. We've got a lot of games to go through. Okay. Oh, just wait. We'll go to the spreadsheet. It will be just an 8-hook stage performance by Krasue. Why did Krasue give up at the end? Because Trickster not only got the 4K, but got the 4K with 1 gen still remaining. As soon as that last gen popped, Krasue was eliminated. One last reminder, we have a gen left tiebreak situation for the round of 16. Alright, so Trickster is through to the quarterfinals. We'll be facing the winner of this matchup, as it will be Spirit versus Wraith, the ghostly affair here. Spirit! Spirit in Ormond Lake Mine. A ghostly encounter with Wraith. Spirit has been so strong all tournament long. 4 Ks in every game. Needs more of the same here. As that was someone moving to the window. Oh my lord, it's an injury. Oh, it almost was haunted ground. What's this? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And the board will have to take a view on this one. Because that was one of the worst starts to a Survivor game I think it's possible for anyone to have. As Claudette throws Shack Pallet and takes an almost immediate dying state. Now, there is a situation in which you could reasonably say, well, them taking a dying state was a response to the mistake that they made, so it is an earned kill for the Spirit. Other people may be saying there was no real DBD move offered there, and it should be a null and void game. Sounds to me like the board are going to see what Claudette does from this point on. If they make an earnest effort to play the game will be valid. As Spirit goes for a pain res hook there. That was very risky, but works out in the end. So for the moment, the game is played on. As Onryo runs past, looking for the save. Won't be able to get it. Should be an injury here. Eventually. Eventually. There it is. Ooh, a Spirit runs into the MDF. Who left that there, says Onryo. Spirit's delighted. It's a dying state. It's a dying state as Sable moves in for the save now. But that is very poor timing because Spirit will be right on there to pressure the unhook and maybe make it a trade. Sable goes off to the right. Vaults the window. Gotta kick the door. Just an unfortunate situation there for Spirit. Not easily able to counter that with the phase. Still a question mark. Oh, that's a nasty whiff for Spirit. Still a question mark over this game. Good injury there. As to whether it will even count. Not seen too much yet of Claudette. But I'm hearing that will be pivotal. Whether they're playing the game or whether they're just stood by a hook. Xavier Bolt, another dying state. Has to be said, it is a very, very good performance so far from Spirit. It would feel very, very much hard luck if this were to be taken away. As Onryo, oh, gives up there. I do not envy the board on this one. Whatever decision they make regarding the validity of the game is going to anger one team. Goes back for Onryo. Gets the hook here. Back in action. Because now there's another wrinkle to this. Onryo seemingly giving up there, but it was an effective, productive move that did deny the hook on Sable. And it seems like Claudette has popped a gen in the interim. I'm hearing from the board now. The game continues. It's valid. It's valid. Spirit plays on. Brilliant news for the Spirit camp, who are enjoying a brilliant game state here. We play on. We play on. Disastrous news if you are Wraith, because things are looking pretty bad for them. And they're going to have a presumably hefty total to try and match. Unhook over here. Yeah, Onryo giving up, and they did take that into consideration. But they said that, as Quentin's going to crouch away, they said that Onryo got put on a hook. So anything thereafter is valid. Quentin takes a dying state there. But this, it could be argued, is all due to the good work of the Spirit, the team falling down around her. Because of, let's be honest, one simple play she made in the beginning, and the demoralizing factor, no doubt, of Haunted Ground popping early. Unbelievable for Spirit. Because there was a survivor around here. Heard some injury noises. Well, no, there can't be injury noises because the only injured parties are currently on hook. So, Claudette, there could still be a sting in the tail here. Is Claudette now waiting for Hatch? Could there be some locker plays going on? Was that a vault? Hold on. What is Spirit hearing here? She was presumably going for Hatch, and with that, it's a 4K with 4 gens remaining. That is as close to unbeatable as it's possible to get. Some controversy, no doubt, but it is a valid game, and it is all to do here for the Wraith. The Forgotten Ruins for Wraith. Oh my god, things go from bad to worse for Wraith. When you specifically want to keep all the gens on side, this is not the map that you want to be sent to. As it'll be Jake. No injury there. And just every misfortune amplified so heavily with the context of what Wraith needs to do. Oh my lord, and the whiff there. Okay, what's going on? I was going to say, has someone put a marshmallow at the end of Wraith's weapon? What was that? Awful start for Wraith. A gem may pop. Just in this chase. There is a dying state eventually. He's going to slug. He's going to slug. He's going to do it immediately. Infectious right over here. Denies the portal. Gets the injury. Cloaks up again. Oh, they do bring down the pallet. Good call. Good call. And all this slugging, all this debased slugging could be for nothing now. There is gem movement down here. Injury. He's slugging again. Is he? No, he's not. He's going to take this hook. He's going to take this hook. Get pain res out there. Oof, oof, oof. Almost denied with a pallet save. There was someone in the area. Getting pain res. Keep the gens stalled out. The recovery on Jake is okay because it keeps 2 survivors out of the gens. So, actually not a bad start for Wraith. Gets the kick here. Again, the margin for error so slim as to be non-existent on these gens. As there's Gabe, marching nonchalantly towards Wraith. And Wraith just needs to close these chases down as quickly as he possibly can. Get around the corner, and they don't drop. Well done from Gabe, good restraint. Gotta be a drop there, right? There it is. And a chance of a dying state here. Yes, indeed. Gem movement there, but not too much. It'll be the second pain rest token. Okay. It's exactly what he needed here. Early dying states. Early disruption. Early pain res. Big regression there. And there's Kate. All of a sudden. Sprint burst to get away. But is he pulling something out here? Because Jake is the injured party who presumably won't want to be going in for these saves. Cloaks up. Stays on Kate. Predator giving that aura reading. Big, big question now. Where is Jake? Trying to get ahead of her. Trying to put himself between her and the hook. And does so. Oh my word. Oh my word. It could be the most astonishing victory of all time if he can close down these survivors. Massive body block to deny the unhook. Wraith moving down. Is there healing going on here? They've gone through the portal. Okay. He follows. Over to the hook. Sense an opportunity. Fair play to Jake, who was there to be disruptive. There are plenty of people around here, including Kate off to the left. The gens stalled significantly with all of this. Another pain res hook. Very valuable. If you can find one, but you're just too far away from any. Very unfortunate. Oh, it's a Sabo! Oh my word! That's a dying state right there. Getting the gem regressing. Getting another hook here. Jake and Gabe really do still need to reset. They can't do too much for anyone if they're standing around injured here. Gen movement here, but not any more than Wraith saw earlier. There is big gen movement here. But Wraith's going to force Gabe away as Jake gets Shack. Jake gets Shack, so Wraith can still tie it. Cannot win. Cannot get the 4K 5 gen situation here. Gets the dying state there. Infectious Fright. Is he going to force the replay? It seemed like a Herculean task that was out of his abilities. But ahead of him right now, he has the opportunity to force the most unlikely of replays. Trying to get ahead of Jake, trying to stop the unhook here. And... oh, he won't be able to. Dying state there. And he slugs again. He slugs again. You feel dirty, you feel nasty, you feel atrocious, but when the asking total is so monumental, there's really not a lot more you can do. There's a pickup. Oh my lord, and they are making Wraith sweat here. Oh, and he doesn't get the dying state. Kate has done fantastic work, as has Jake, in fairness. Gets the hook again. No margin for error, so got to make sure these gens are on side. All Gabe needs to do is sit on this gen. And if he does, Wraith is eliminated. He was trying. He was trying as Wraith gets the kick. Pulls through. Uncloaks. One of the worst attempts at moonwalking I've ever seen. Gets caught on the doorway. As Kate fakes out the window. Gets a medium vault, but that's enough. That's enough. And all the while, what's Kate doing? Does they come back for the pallet? They don't. That's bold. Oof. Deary, deary me. This Gabe is something else. Doesn't come back for the pallet again. Goes to the window again. Doesn't. Fakes it out. Kate is healed. Pretty much a best case scenario. Not getting the unhook. You're absolutely having a joke. How does that not connect? Okay, so Kate doesn't get the unhook. Self-heals. Presumably thinking about a way to move in for the unhook right now. Hook here. Unhook over there. There is a nightmare scenario in which Kate has been able to move that gen such that they get on it, both of them, and complete it. Oh my god, Kate almost sandbagging Jake, denying the portal there. Getting the kick. And let's be very clear, Wraith has done well to even bring it this close, but this team are fighting back. They are giving nothing away here. If only they knew that in getting one gen, and one gen alone, they would be giving Wraith the biggest, bloodiest nose of all time. Says Gabe. Presumably an endurance hit here. And Gabe, who's been so good on these kind of window situations, fakes out there. Well done. Pleased to see the unhook over there. And remember, that is maybe the scariest gen of all. Right by that hook. And he's got to head back. He can't let him have it. There is movement. And Jake will enter the dying state. Still trying to get that gen. Oh, for God's sake. And nothing sticking to Teflon Jake. Finally getting the hit is Wraith. It'll be another hook. Could it be pain res? Is there a pain res token that Jake has left to give? Very, very possibly. Certainly going to test out that theory. It is huge, and it is here, and there's Gabe. Okay. Big opportunity, but where's Kate? In amongst it all, where's Kate? Gabe will not be fooled. Should be a pallet drop here. No. Gonna go for the window. They fake, and that should be all she wrote, unless Gabe has dead hard. No. Taking the hook now. Kate could be going in for the unhook. What you fear, if you're Wraith, is the ding of a gen completing. Maybe Kate is shunning the notion of the unhook and simply wants to get as many gens as possible. Checking on this one, which is moving. Is that newly moving? Or maybe Wraith just not able to kick it. After finding Jake. What Kate could also be doing is just waiting for Hatch. And that is what Wraith is banking on. Wraith is going to stay by Shack, deny Hatch, and look ahead to a gate situation. If you can lock in the shutting of Hatch right now, you lock it at 4 gens. And then you just need to deny exit gate for Kate. So now you're willing Hatch to spawn, interestingly, before a gen completes, which it should. Can he lock it in? He can lock it in. 4 gens left. Now. He's done the seemingly impossible. The relatively simple task that now presents itself is denying gate to Kate. Hoping that Kate Denson doesn't become Gate Denson on the patrol. The outside chance of a key. These are pretty good gates. A tough map for killer, but when you get to the exit gates, and especially if you're someone like Wraith, you gotta be happy about what you're looking at. So, deny the gate and force the replay here. Also wants to be moving over here. There's 1 light. 2 lights. It won't be enough. Kate has sprint burst, moves away. As long as you keep them in sight, you get the job done. GG. GG. Wraith has taken it to a replay, has forced a draw. What a performance. So, they both get 12 hooks with 4 gens left, meaning we go to a replay. Spirit versus Wraith. We changed the order as well, so Wraith will be up first for this one. And now Wraith goes to Ormond, although it's Mount Ormond Resort as opposed to Lake Mine. And obviously can't rest easy, but certainly can change up the playstyle now that he doesn't necessarily need an outrageous 4K. Just needs to do the little things right, and he starts a chase with Nicolas Cage, looking for an early injury. Doesn't go for the window, doesn't go for that window, so eventually there is the M1. Boon in play. Never unhappy to hear a boon. Sorry, I've kicked the door there. Never unhappy to hear the boon, at least that's not a gen moving or anything of the sort. Trying to get ahead of Nicolas here. Trying to deny the pallet, won't be able to. Ooh, but Nicolas Cage just runs right through and then runs back. Rookie error. Rookie error from Wraith. You can't be giving away pallets like that. You have the tools at your disposal to deny that outright. Oh dear, and things are looking grim for this opening chase. However, things also look grim in the previous opening chase, and we remember how that game went. Okay, so should be a dying state here. Big lag, it seemed like. Yep, okay, Nicolas Cage is lagging. It's all good. The dying state is obtained and a Scourge Hook here. A gen, however, does pop. So it does mean already that a potential 4K 5 gen for Spirit could be enough to seal the deal and put her in the quarterfinals. As there could be... Aha! Wait, way too long there. Had an opportunity to flee the Wraith, but plays it a little bit brazenly on the window. Takes the injury. Lara now on a very Wraith favourable tile. You simply can't camp pallets like that. Going to be punished. 9 times out of 10. So, second hook stage for Wraith. Another pain rest token, keeping those gens nicely stalled out. Back into the fray he goes. Back on Nicolas Cage. Which, of course, denies you the opportunity of pain res, but puts pressure on one survivor, could make this a 3-survivor game very quickly, which, as we know, is so advantageous in these tournaments. Nicolas gets to the pallet, might drop it immediately, doesn't, just runs through. A master of holding W is Nicolas Cage here, and that'll be a dying state. Intriguing lines being taken. Back to the hook. And maybe right back to the previous one now. Keeping pressure on these injured parties, the name of the game for Wraith. So there was the heal here. And there's Lara. There's the Fogval. Good play from Lara. Good play from Lara. Respecting the pallet, waiting for Wraith to make a move and countering him ably and competently. Wraith got to go elsewhere. Maybe hoping for an easier chase than that, which he got. No pallet here, so it should be an injury on Adam, although Wraith uncloaking a little bit early there. Just lengthens out this chase, gives Adam a shot at the pallet. Thankfully, unlike Lara, they panic and drop early. So, good injury there. Oh. Wraith loses Adam, goes right back on Lara. A bit unfortunate. Takes another injury. Cloaks up. Lara doesn't go for the pallet. Okay. Uncloaking here. And good mind game from Wraith. Lara, a bit of a one-track mind there. Wraith stops them in their tracks. And gets another hook. So, bit of a lopsided hook total here, but you see this a lot at this level. 2 survivors taking an extraordinary amount of aggro. And it leaves the killer with 2 opportunities of making it that very important 3-survivor situation. Kick here. Says Mia Coulson. Slow vaulting a pallet just out in the open. A big opportunity here. Do they pre-drop? They do not. In fact, they run through. Credit to them. However, the uncloak could be very good here from Wraith. Cloak and uncloak. Fake out in this direction, come back. And that won't do it. Good stuff from Nia. Fake out the kick, move around, and kind of does the job. However, a better chase is promised up ahead. Trying to stop Nicolas Cage from running all the way to Shack. They'll run back to the pallet, and they will not get it. Is their space key broken? Why are they not throwing any pallets? That is certainly helping out the Wraith a great deal here. Very strange lines and very strange pathing and decision making from Nicolas Cage, and that hands Wraith the first kill. 3 survivors left, still 4 gens left. Things are looking very, very good indeed. There goes that gen, however. Which is to be expected, not being able to get pain res for quite some time, so all that while, the gens will of course have been moving. No gen movement there, nor there. Kind of a 3-gen here, although if you do have to rely on the 3-gen, there's no real slam dunk situations. Just a little bit of gen movement here. There's Lara. And the injury is so huge. And all of a sudden, you could be looking at a 2-survivor game, depending on how Lara plays this. Yeah. And just a little fake out to the left. Catch them sleeping under the pallet again. So, 2-survivor situation. now, you know, Wraith needs to get to work and focus on his own game, but there is half an eye on how many gens will be remaining if and when Wraith does get the 4K here. Make sure that's regressing. Don't be tremendously surprised if this is a bit of a wait-and-see situation. A timid affair as the survivors try and wait out one another. To see who ends up getting hatch. Bit of a cagey affair, it looks like. Seen a lot more of Adam than he has of Nia, as Wraith. There was that one instance when Nia randomly slow vaulting a pallet, but then put together a pretty good chase around a god filler pallet over there. Big movement on this gen. And it's Nia Carlson. And Wraith choosing to drop the pallet. Kick the gen rather than take the chase immediately. Absolutely chewing up through these pallets, and that'll be a chase, and presumably an injury. It'll be close. Looks like they're going to get to this pallet here. Fake out that. Nice. That'll be the injury. And opportunity maybe here. Ooh, well played. And this is important time. Yeah, because there you go. Adam getting a gen. Which could have severe implications, as we've already seen. As Nia is now chasing Adam and Wraith is chasing Nia. Things are looking strange. They shouldn't be able to get the window. They try and fake out. That won't do much of anything, and it will be a dying state. As there is Adam, just spying him as Wraith. Wraith thinks that he's gone up and around here. So he's going to try and give pursuit. And there he is. Good call. Very good call from Wraith. Presumably sprint burst. If it was sprint burst, they held on for it to they held on to it for way too long. And this is where you're very grateful to have these tracking perks. Bloodhound, for instance, very good there. Dying state. And Nia takes an endurance hit and flees the scene. Okay. A hook there. But massive intel now on Nia Carlson. And there she is. And there's the dying state. And that'll be the 4K with 2, assuming there's no 4%, the 4K with 2 generators remaining. Another very, very strong showing from Wraith. And it is advantage Wraith as we go now to the Spirit, who needs to match that. Hold on to 3 gens or you are knocked out. Wraith achieved the 4K with 2 generators remaining. So, if the team pop their 4th gen, make it a 1-gen game, Spirit is eliminated. Big ask here. On Crotus Pren. Moving through the middle. Need to find a survivor almost immediately and put some pressure on from the get-go. Listening out for any early movements, of course. Very important. There's Haunted Ground. Haunted Ground nice and exposed, which is what you want. You want that totem cleansed as soon as possible to get exposed out there. Again, as soon as possible. As there's gen movement over here, someone going around the other side of the hill. And there they are. So the first chase is on for Spirit. Or it was on. Deception, okay. Good to diagnose that early. Injury there. And the board, we're going to hear from them. They're back immediately. The game is null and void. It will be replayed. They're saying that was too early for a DC. There was no doubt in their minds. Alright, Spirit, after a null and void game due to an immediate DC in Haddonfield. Needs to recuperate, collect their thoughts, and get to business. And immediate scratch marks up here, so a good start. There's someone... Oh, it sounded like they went out on the roof there. Spirit been duped a little bit by that. So drop down and flee the scene. Okay, so it's James Sunderland. And is Steve giving away a free hit here? That pallet gets dropped. And yeah, it will be a bit of a free hit on Steve. Good pivot from Spirit. Gets the pallet and also gets the benefit of a relatively fast injury thereafter. Well played by Steve. Whoa. Bit confused, but gets a dying state nonetheless. Remember, Wraith got the 4K with 2 gens still remaining. Spirit needs to conclude this game by such a time. If the survivors get their 4th gen, make it a 1 gen left situation, Spirit is eliminated on that gen's remaining tiebreaker. So big, big matchup here. And needs some quick moves. Finds James once again. Who takes it to the pallet that he burned previously. So that is, that's last stand. That isn't finesse. That's the last stand vault. Doubles back. Well diagnosed by Spirit. Good job to get back on him. As James heads into the house. Pivots downstairs. Pallet's right there, unfortunately. Maybe should have kept phasing there. Spirit could have had a shot. Goes again. Into the house, presumably. They do not double back. Oof. Just got a bit full. There was a little bit of grass moving. Trying to use that intel. But it didn't work out for her. Has another phase here. As James vaults again. Should be a good opportunity here. As James, oh my god, is throwing Spirit off with some spirited movements. And hops into a locker. That will not do anything. It will eventually be the hook here, but some big gem movement all the while. Again, every gen's so valuable, so kicking that one, but enough one pops all the while. Rancor, such a good perk for purely for the intel you get midway through the game. As in moves Kate. Not entirely sure where that haunted ground totem is, but that would be a really, really good thing to pop soon. Injury into pallet stun. And Spirit going to phase after Kate. So drop the pallet, that'll be a dying state, okay. And needing pain res. Now the pain res hooks need to come out thick and fast. Thankfully, denying the torch save there from Steve. Big intel. Big, big intel as both survivors moving in for the unhook. So there's movement on the gen. That'll be Tori, who should be getting injured here. It'll be close. No, just finds the pallet. Downstairs. Ooh, they just tried walking to hide their scratch marks, but actually played right into the Spirit's hands there. Able to close down the gap and apply the injury. Not a bad move again. Pallet's gone here. Does Spirit need to phase, or can she just close this down without phasing? Yep, she's got it. Just. The pain res hooks have not spawned too advantageously. Are you even able to make it to a pain res hook here with Tori? She's going to try, and she should be able to. Maybe with 85 or 90 on the wiggle meter, something like that. There she goes. Hook obtained. As there goes Steve. Big regression on this gen. Spirit giving chase. Fucking hell. Sorry, mind my language. I'll have to add a marker reminding myself to bleep myself there, but my god, that was a blood-curdling scream from James Sunderland. As Kate's going to try and move in for the save. And we'll be able to here. unfortunately. Get in the phase. Oh, just getting the injury there. Very, very tight. There's one pain res stack remaining. Unsure is Spirit of who has that stack. Steve also could be looking for a torch save here. Is looking for it, doesn't get it. Could this be the pain res stack? It is not. It is not. Nonetheless, good pressure being applied by Spirit here. James was somewhere over here. And away he goes. It's no surprise that the totem is being avoided. It's Spirit. There's a totem hanging around. Your thoughts are always going to go to Blood Warden. There's James impeding the progress of Spirit, and that will be an injury every day of the week. Can she act in a confusing manner? Yes, she can. Oof. There was a rebuilt Rick Grimes pallet. They won't need it. They're going to go for the blind anyway. They're going to go for the blind nonetheless. Ugh. She's being curtailed at every possible turn. And weird audio bugs going on there as Rick brings down the pallet. And with that amount of time being passed, there is a very real chance that the survivors get 2 of these remaining gens, and if they do, it will be a dagger in the heart of Spirit and of her World Cup chances. But another hook over here. And some gem aggression there. And when the margins for error are so slim, you've got to go where the gens are moving, and she did see someone moving the gen. Upstairs here. Not a huge amount of movement. As Kate doesn't go for the window, instead goes around for the balcony. Should be an injury here. Injured party up ahead, that's James Sunderland. Spirit's going to pivot. Very, very fortunate. If there's any way that this is pain res here for James, which I think it is actually, it is. Huge, huge, huge instance of pain res. There's someone crouching around the right-hand side there. You've got to go for the 2 people who will presumably be looking to move this generator. There should be someone here. There is. It's Tori Kane fleeing the scene. And are things now lining up for another replay? Look at the game state. It doesn't look too unlikely that it will be another 4K with 2 gens remaining, right? Deary me, there's the unhook. And should be an injury here. Spirit just so slow. Outside a phase, so takes the pallet stun there. Chemical trap, of course. That makes a lot of sense. Could go for the phase. Even the phase is impacted by chemical trap there. And just doubting herself now. Wondering if there was some way that Tori Kane was hiding in that half-a-foot high bush. Certainly was not. Thankfully for her, no more gem movement here. It is 2 gens remaining. A single gem pops and Spirit is eliminated. Things are looking grim. What would you even possibly be hoping for here? No more pain res to utilize. Steve manages that well, comes back around for the stun. The death state, the dying hook, the dying state denied. Jesus Christ, the dying state denied. Just more and more time passes. The chances of a gem popping more and more likely. Spirit hangs on a thread and she's eliminated. The generator pops. Spirit cannot enjoy a 2-gen left situation, so she is out. She is out, and Wraith progresses, good lord, and thus ends the most arduous matchup in World Cup history. We've all aged years through that one. Enduratory. There's your dying state. So, last gen pops. I mean, just playing for pride at this point. Will be 3 survivors remaining now. Look like Kate moving in for the unhook over here. There it is. Spirit back there in good time to put some pressure on them. Going for the heal. And now, if they're trying to stick around for the save, this could be very good for Spirit. There you go, dying state there. Okay, so going back for Steve. James could be around here. Nope. James, I think, is out of there. Opens the gate. Might be hanging around. Unlikely. Unlikely that James would. Rancor in play. Yep. Oh, my lord, but it's unbreakable for Kate. Very clutch for them, and they may well escape with that. Oh, but they've gone to the wrong gate. They've gone over in this direction. How desperately unfortunate. Never mind. GG. Wraith is through. And we'll take on Trickster in the first of our quarterfinal matchups. Myers versus Houndmaster. Away we go. Survivor World Cup's going to be so good. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Michael Myers in Midwich has had to deal with a complete rework midway through the tournament here. For what it's worth, has kind of hit the ground running with the new Evil Incarnate mode, with the dash attack. Has already been doing some very good stuff with it. We'll hope for more down the line. Not quite getting anything with the first patrol. And in a bit of a dead zone when it comes to gens here. In fact, there's 2 gens upstairs. Okay, Michael Myers lives downstairs now. That's where he lives. This is an outrageous spawn for the gens here. But is there any real point to trying to keep those upstairs gens on side when there's 5 down, 2 up? This is astonishing, and he's going to stay downstairs. There's no gen movement here. Would love to see a survivor. Yet to find one. No gen movement upstairs either. Nothing to the left. Okay, movement up there. That makes a lot of sense. Lots of movement here. Looking to get as much stalk out there as possible. Gets a little bit. Okay, in spite of what we were saying earlier, it looks like Mike needs to find some stalk, needs to find some survivors. So does head upstairs briefly. Loses this gen. Okay, Evil Incarnate mode here, big opportunity. Breaks the pallet. Keeps on Hanato. Just on pallet destruction duty right now. Not an awful use of the power, but obviously needs a dying state soon. Well played by Hanato. We'll probably look to flee the scene with that. There goes another gen. Oof. Tough opening this. The victim of a very slow start. Oh, and not able to find a survivor, nor able to find the pallet. And the timing on that, not great. Although, There we go. Good stuff from him. Okay. Just as Evil Incarnate mode passes as well. Very, very important timing there. Turning, keeping a bad situation from being a disastrous situation. Probably does want to make sure this gen isn't here in the future. Okay, sprint burst there is a shame. Going for stalk mode. Moving over to the gen around here. Getting a play for food token for what that's worth. And it'll be Alucard. And doing this and then doing this could be very good. This completely inhibits Alucard from leaving, but Alucard well aware of what was going on, flees the scene. Maybe Pursuer mode isn't the worst idea. Try and get some save the best for last stacks out there. Unless, of course, Alucard finds his pallet, which he does. And does not drop down. Playing well here is Alucard. Might just getting caught on the lockers, but we'll get the hits. So Alucard drops down. Well played by Michael. Very well played by Michael, and that should be a dying state there. Nice. So 2 hook stages for him, but only 2 gens left. It's been a very, very quick game. One of the quickest gen games we've seen. We've seen a lot of games with some good loops, but not a lot of gen progress. This has the latter, sorry, in bucket loads. Might need to try for another exposed hit here. Find Sonato. And there is Evil Incarnate mode. We're just going to send it immediately with that. Bamboozle here. Well played. Hanato foiled again by the dash attack. That'll be his second hook stage, but still plenty of work for Michael to do. Headbutts a wall, that's okay, don't worry about it. He's just working through some stuff. Is there still gen movement down here? From the top rope. Worth a go. You simply never know. Went for the big swing, it didn't connect. Now maybe back to Pursuer mode again. Looking to garner some more save the best for last stacks. Make himself a bit of a force in the basic M1 game. As this is not the obsession. Cheryl right here. He takes the hit, runs into the bookcase. We'll go through the window. Minus follows, of course, with Bamboozle. Live there is a shame. They'll keep on moving. Heading upstairs. Pallet's gone. There's another pallet here. Not a very important one. Not a very scary one for Michael. There's your dying state. 4 stacks to save best for last. If he can find a way of getting a pain res hook here, he could be getting this game back on track. And there is a pain res hook right here. Very, very fortunate for Michael. And away he goes. As there is... This is going to be Yunjin, yeah. So time to stalk. Evil Incarnate mode. You don't want to take too many hits. And deny yourself too much in the way of save best for last on the obsession. An exposed hit could be very important. As they head upstairs, gen movement there. There goes Alucard. And that gets Michael Evil Incarnate mode. Alucard did go upstairs. No, someone else went upstairs to get the unhook. Alucard's still down here. Surprising. Very surprising. In the end, probably didn't really want Evil Incarnate mode. He's got to go for it because he's too slow in Stalker mode. Alucard's been running some strong loops and continues that there. And there will be a pallet on the right-hand side. Oh. Swing and a miss. Breaks the pallet. Good play from Michael. Zones Alucard away. Another gen pops, unfortunately, but it will be a dying state. huge movement right here. There's a pain res stack. God knows on whom. I'm sure you do watching at home. More power to you. Again, just finding himself just out of step here. Looking for the stalk. Gets a large portion of it. And... oh, so close to Evil Incarnate mode. Turns the corner. Gets a bit of stalk. That's all he needs. And away he goes. And Yunjin has always just been that bit too far away. Breaking the pallet. Although not all that efficiently. With kind of stallty animation. There goes final gen. Things going from bad to worse for Michael. Oh, and the dash. Powerful, but not powerful enough. Come back. They're not going to. Well played. And they have burnt through all of his Evil Incarnate mode. He's got to go elsewhere. Hopefully finding Alucard or really anyone, but it's all over. And also gets the gate, leaves, vanishes into thin air. That's a neat trick. Other gate's just opened, and that is going to be a pretty dismal 5-hook game for Michael. Never felt in it right from the very beginning. And Houndmaster has a very easy path to the quarterfinals here. 5 hooks to beat. And you cannot rule out Houndmaster in Toba Landing. 5 hook statuses, well, 6 hook statuses needed to win and get through to the playoffs. Very doable, but nothing is a given in Dead by Daylight.
Find me a rat.
As away goes Snug. And finds some immediate intel. Every chase so important. Looking for the quick start that Myers, of course, was denied.
Find me a rat.
Gets a search out there for the speed. Nice. And that speed paired with the lunge. Enough to get the injury on Rebecca. They're going to go for the window there. They will make it just. If it's live, Houndmaster's in trouble, but it isn't. And that should be a dying state here. It is. Good job. Exactly the start they would have been looking for. There's 1, 2, 3 Painless hooks over there. 1 back here. That's makeable and well worth going for. There's Jagged Compass. Shows the furthest long gen there. Although this one also highlighted yellow. That's interesting. So midway through, the gen highlighted by Jagged Compass changed, which I didn't actually know was possible. So learning new things about Houndmaster's perks here. Daryl makes an incredible move to elicit the whiff and gets the pallet. Fair play to Daryl. Okay. And at that point, got to move away. Maybe get this kicked. And look to keep this gen under pressure. If Snug could go up there, that would be great. Does just. There's no one hanging around here, but surely an opportunity. Oh, there is someone hanging around here. Hang on. How come there was no killer instinct there? No terror radius? Some level of obliviousness? Very confusing, nonetheless. Daryl gets the unhook. Daryl, who gave the Houndmaster a bit of a bloody nose with the whiff earlier on. No such whiffs here. That's another dying state. I think the detection radius for Snug must have just missed that survivor is what happened there. So no killer instinct and no intel for Houndmaster. It is what it is. 2 hooks of the way there. 1/3 of the way to that necessary 6 hook total. And the gen's still regressing there. Good stuff. Just trying to get Snug back upstairs. Is they're going to drop on first sight? No, they're not. Credit to them. Balanced landing, it will be. Houndmaster kicks and moves on. Okay. Good opportunity here. Click the torch, nothing wrong with that. It's always the chase that Houndmaster was going to become involved with. As really desperately trying to get Snug out there, not able to. There goes the pallet stun, there goes the blind.
Find me a rat.
Staying true to her principles here, Houndmaster. Use the search a lot. Has not historically used the chase all that much. It's worked out for her so far. Might be pivoting now. Nope.
Fine.
Sticking with the search. So I goes to the window. Gets caught on the rocks. Pallet here. No drop. Aura reading very, very, very valuable there. Which, unless I'm mistaken, that could have been Object of Obsession working against Dwight there, perhaps. Anyway. Halfway there for Houndmaster. 3 of her 6 hooks obtained. And that Jagged Compass Pain Res combo, so powerful. Telling her exactly where to go and also putting, obviously, regression on those most important gens. As there was Killer Instinct here. And there's Daryl. What a find. You can't be hiding in lockers against Houndmaster. Snug has the opportunity to deny that at every turn with that Killer Instinct. Remember, in a locker, a survivor does give away Killer Instinct, and that's what worked out for Houndmaster. 2/3 of the way there. One more hook will mean that Houndmaster cannot be eliminated. 2 more hooks, and she is through.
Fine.
And you've got to say, things are looking very, very good for her. There goes Daryl. No intel on anyone else. Had Sprint Burst there to get some distance. And we'll find a pallet with it. They won't drop it. Oh. Just became caught on the rock, Houndmaster. Daryl has been performing very well, but does take a dying state. This will be a kill. If no one's here for the save, or if it isn't DS. And there it is. 5 hook stages. So the draw and the replay is guaranteed. Just one more hook needed.
Find me a rat.
There's the unhook. There's the heal. There's Rebecca and there's Dwight. So Rebecca and Dwight both looping this tile. That's a good situation for the Houndmaster. You love looping 2 survivors on the same tile. There's a vault. That will be an injury. Getting Snug back out there. Following with the speed. Moonwalk. Oh, well played from Rebecca. Not easy. Not easy to cancel that move. And just missed out Rebecca, the torch blind. Actually doing some good for her. Trying to get Snug up there, unable to do so. The verticality, a real problem with Snug sometimes. And you saw it there. Just playing it as cautiously as possible. The safest course of action is staying on Rebecca. Big gem movement over here. Got to pivot away. Well done to Rebecca. Who's done enough to stall the celebrations for the Houndmaster. They're going to get right back on her. That's not what you wanted. That's what you wanted to search.
Fine.
Pallet down there. And you might just be happy to brute force this if you're Houndmaster. One mistake from Rebecca and you've got the win. And there it is. There it is. So with that, the Houndmaster is through to the quarterfinals. rest easy now. A job well done. Not a terrifying total posted by Michael, but you really do never know in these games. Can't take anything for granted. She's done what she needs to do. Dramaturgy into a tree for Sable. I must say, the Sables have not had a good showing so far in this tournament. No disrespect intended. There's a dying state. No, it isn't! It's endurance somehow. Not dead hard. They maybe did have a med kit that they no longer have. Could be a styptic play there. And maybe I spoke too soon. Good play from Sable. And not quite able to connect there. Although, Sable did go down into the basement. Albeit very briefly. Good play to elicit the dodge.
Yeah.
And they've got away. They've got away. Credit to them. Prolonging this game with a very good showing. And we are, alas, once more in it for the long haul, as there are plenty of gens left, and it seems that Houndmaster has taken her foot off the gas.
Sick.
There's, Dwight was around here. It was and is
Look
object of obsession.
You're
Not able to find him.
best.
Alright, do you know what? Houndmaster has won, is victorious. Congratulations, Houndmaster. Playoff hook totals don't matter. It's all about who gets through, who wins. So, over to the spreadsheet. Houndmaster, with, let's call it, as it is currently a 6 hook total, is through to the quarterfinal. When we come back, we'll see who they'll be facing. It will be Nurse versus Clown. Alright? Well done to Houndmaster. Nostromo. Intriguing. A doable map for Nurse. They have the map control to make this happen. And away she goes. One blink just to get into the thick of it. And no obvious gen movement around here. Could be this gen. And there is some movement here. Okay, so first engagement for Nurse. And just goes the wrong way. It's that simple. Wasn't able to see any obvious path that the survivors took, and they have got first blood here in evading her and hiding. Admirably. Tough opening. She does have nowhere to hide. Could be worth checking for an aura. And there they are. Well played. Well played. Just overcommitted on the first blink there. Wasn't able to find a way over the pallet, and that is a very strong start from V. Good comeback, though, from Nurse. One blink into the immediate hits, 2 blinks in on the table. Oh, and swings way too early, expecting V to have made more of a move in there. So a tough opening this. Live is not too bad against Nurse. As V, big comeback maneuver, ably and competently countered by Nurse. Okay, so as long as she can get Pop Goes a Weasel and come back to this gen quickly enough, she'll feel reasonably calm about the start that she's had. And it looks like they are not going to commit here. So, Pop Goes a Weasel on this gen. Looking for auras, finding none. Oh, Sprint Burst to get away. And just enough distance to evade the second blink hit. Very unfortunate. Would have been a great hit to have got. Getting in amongst it on this tile. Good stuff. Nurse putting herself on the corner. Denying the line of sight tech. that V would have been looking for. There's another dying state. Good stuff from Nurse. And no matter how slow a start Nurse has, this is what she can do. Use her ability to get hook after hook after hook and just snowball it away from the team. She'll be hoping for more of the same. Good hook there. Big gem movement up in the ship. She can't quite get up there. Big whiff on the blink. Oh, they're going to try and commit. Oh, and she's going to get Pop Goes a Weasel out there. Wow. Well done by Nurse. Good presence of mind there to counter what they were trying to do. Oh, that was devastating. The swing and a miss. So, so close. Not entirely sure where she went. Looked in one direction and it was a different survivor entirely, and that's alive to get him away. Although V taking Nurse to the injured party. Not able to get over the wall. So it could have been a much, much better situation. She'll be happy at least that she did counter the gen and got Pop Goes the Weasel out there. And that was an audacious swing that was always unlikely to connect. One blink out there. Is that enough? No. Well played, Buffy. As they do not commit to the panic, they keep on going. 2 blinks in the back pocket. 2 gens remaining. Nurse is being punished for every transgression, for every slightly overlong chase. And just finding everything but the survivor with the blink hits. And coming out of the blink, it's like molasses. I don't know how much this is coming across to the viewers here, to you. But she is so slow when recovering from the fatigue. It's kind of outrageous. He keeps on moving. Oh. Finding ways to make the Nurse miss. And things are going from bad to worse for the Nurse. And things are looking very, very good for the Clown. Right now, Nurse staring down the barrel of a 2-hook stage game. Gets the 3rd, eventually, however. V hanging around looking for a save of some kind. Can't let that happen. You simply can't be denied a hook here if you're Nurse. Oh, and she's just finding ways to miss. Being dodged and evaded in the open field. Going for the blind. Won't connect, and a big opportunity here for the hook into a follow-up. And then right there. Wow, big, big throw from V. You really can't be giving Nurse ways back into the game. Like that. She'll take them every day of the week, and that'll be 2 people on hook at the same time. Although someone there for the unhooked steal, which is very aggravating if you're Nurse. Maybe the kick purely for the aura reading could be decent here. Gets the injury there. Again, swinging at space and hoping for the best. This is not the Nurse to which we've become accustomed all tournament long. She's beginning to panic a little bit. However, oh, V gave away the hit. Nurse did not blink far enough. But V ran back into the active area of the hitbox. Takes a dying state. Another hook there. So just slowly but surely, maybe clawing back a slightly respectable total here. And still plenty of game left to play. The unhook here. They've clearly moved away. No gem movement there. It's a pretty decent 3-gen if you Nurse. And there's no movement at all, so you have the opportunity to go back to the hook, assess the situation, see what's going on here. It's been a game of reasonably quick unhooks, but not this time. Maybe they're focusing more on a reset at this point. There's Claudette, who's evaded detection all game long. They keep on doing that, and Nurse keeps on falling for it. The double back maneuver. This is Nurse 101 countering such a move, but she's forgetting. As there is really no movement there. Okay, so heal going on in ship. Can Nurse get up there? No. Nope. Too much to blink through. Nurse unable to do it. First blink, not a bad one. Going for the second. It will be Death Hook here for V. An important dying state if she can get it. So use live to get distance, which really shouldn't be working, but is. It has been all game long. An important injury there. Second blink in play. There's another dying state. That's huge. Now the question becomes, can Nurse get the hook and get over to those gens quickly enough with Pop Goes the Weasel? No. So there you go, 3 survivors left, but they have a gate situation. It was this gen that pops. The timing on that, so disastrous. Just needed, what, 2, 3, 4 more seconds to get over there. Damn shame. So currently 6 hooks, which you feel like against Clown, it's simply not going to be enough. They've already got the gate open. It's the injured V. But Nurse isn't going to be there in time. The margin for error almost non-existent. The gem pops, the gate's done. It seemed almost exactly 20 seconds later. Maybe resilience, maybe wake up. All these things could have been in play there. And it is looking like a disaster of a game for the Nurse. Crumbling when she could least afford to. Gate over here. There are lights. There's the noise. 2 blinks in the back pocket. Won't be enough. Unless... Oh, isn't that just... Doesn't that just sum up her game? Goes for the swing, misses, and hits the panel rather than the survivor. That really sums it up for Nurse. Such a diabolically bad, maybe unfortunate game. And there we go. That also goes some way to summing up her experience here, just not being effective enough with the blinks. 6 hooks. Very, very beatable for the Clown here. 6 hooks, the score to beat. Almond Lake Mine back here, where Spirit has her phenomenal game. Clown looking to replicate a little bit of that success. Doesn't need a 4K. Again, 7 hooks to total to move through to the quarterfinals. Away he goes. Looking for a nice early patrol here. Whoopsie daisy, that won't do it. Shake it off. Says the Clown team. Shake it off. Don't worry about that. Finding the survivor. Speed bottle out there. So this bottle should force the pallet burn. It does. And then the injury. Ooh. Felt like a pretty good move from Clown, but just decisively countered by some good pallet vaulting. Not hesitating for a second. And what could have been an injury is now threatening to be a very long early chase. The injury, and then the slowness bottle. That's a very good combo for Clown here. And there's dying state. Gem movement to the left. So they get the pallet. They do not! Ooh. And Clown can consider himself very fortunate. Indeed. The blown skill check is huge. The blown skill check may well allow Clown to come back and get the Pop Goes a Weasel kick. It will. That is very well played by Clown. Okay, looking for aura reading. Doesn't find it immediately. There was someone back there, of course. The Michaela who went for the save. So maybe, if you're Clown, you're looking to see where they went. Denying them the opportunity to immediately get on the unhook. And away they go. Is that gen still regressing? Hold on, it is. Okay, so, on the injured party is Clown. 1/6 of the way to the Nurse's total. And it's got to be said, a pretty strong start for him. Although a gen does pop. And there is, as we saw, significant progress on another. And the haste there means that Michaela's not able to get back around to the pallet. An eruption also on that gen could be very important. Wrong bottle, needing the speed. Let's get back to that gen. Says the unhook for Arella, the full heal. And they're not going to be able to commit. So So, nowhere to hide. Show someone on the left there. There is possibly Yunjin, that was. Waiting by Shack. Not what Clown's going to go for. Going to instead try and put some pressure here on V. And there's an injury. And they burn the pallet. Big opportunity here for Clown. Oh, as they do come around, burn the pallet. But, never mind. Oh, that was well done. Did not expect them to get over that pallet in time. But, in the end, Clown connects with the M1. Halfway to the 6 hook total. Some very good chases, some very good bottle management here. Keeping the gen stalled. Using Pop Goes a Weasel well. Using Pop Goes a Weasel in a way that Nurse simply was not able to. Heading over this way. Just denied the aura reading from Nowhere to Hide. Even though the scratch marks were heading this way, that was surprising. Big movement up here. Okay, no bounce landing. Injury for Orella. Can the Moonwalk get it done? No. There was a box in the way. Alas. As it is live to get all the way over here. And there goes that gen. 3 gens left. Maybe reasons to be a little bit cautious here for your Clown. The gens are moving quickly. Just able to get haste. Very important. And that will be the 4th hook state and a possibly incredibly important eruption hit on the gen to the left. Coming back here with those all-important kick perks, which have really been saving the game for Clown up to this point. And there's Michaela. As a bottle connects, such a good bottle. An alley-oop, a moonball from downtown. Does connect. Michaela maybe pre-drops, doesn't. Well done. But Volt's over. Volt's back. Dear me, they're very confident on their pallets. We've got to give it to them. On these pallets, they are making some very good moves and making Clown sweat with each and every chase. Things are still looking pretty good. And they choose to drop at exactly the right time. They know exactly how Clown's going to operate. And they get to Shack with that. Clown's got to leave. Clown's got to go elsewhere. That is a chase he cannot keep on for too much longer. Things are going from maybe comfortable to decidedly uncomfortable for Clown. Still isn't at the hook total that he needs. 2 gens remain. 1 gen has big movement over there. Yunjin moves him away. Needs to close down some of these chases a bit quicker. Gets the injury there. Big speed bottle up ahead. 1 gen game. How is this happening? It all looks so comfortable. It all looks so easy for Clown. This team have rallied spectacularly. There's a dying state. And the hook here. Now, how do the gens look from here on in? There could be 3 people all working on gens. There is a lot of movement here. Good lord, thank the heavens once more for Pop Goes a Weasel. But my god, how is this happening? Michaela taking Clown away. Looks like someone, yep. Orella looking to get back on the gen. They'll just have enough speed to outpace Clown here. And then Live to get away. Slowness bottle does connect. Great bottle. And that should be the injury here before the pallet. There it is. And the pallet burn. Very important. 5 hook status. Going for the blind. Is Michaela. Doesn't get it. No reason to be doing that. And after they've been playing so well and so efficiently, is that a rare error? It will be. That'll be a dying state. Barring dead heart. Why would you do that? Everything was going so well. So, Clown matches the hook total. Needs one more hook, and there's an injured party over here. And no guesses for what Clown's going to do. He's going to go right after them, not even worried about the gem here. Just taking the chase and trying to get this hook. And he might have done it. Good bottle there. Dying state. If he makes it to a hook, he's in the quarterfinals. And Nurse will be eliminated. There goes the final gem. He won't care a jot about that. He gets his hook and he's through. Clown defeats Nurse. Will be in the quarterfinals against the Houndmaster in what will be a very exciting matchup between two proficient killers there. GG. GG. Just playing this one out now. Stone's bottle there. They'll want to avoid it. And that will be a dying state. Good team, honestly. Turned it around and made it just a 1k situation and really did put the hook statuses in jeopardy. And that should be all she wrote for this one. So that'll be an 8 hook finish for Clown. GG. GG. So we have our second quarterfinal in the books. It will be Houndmaster taking on the Clown. Alright. We go now to Demogorgon versus Trapper. Maybe the matchup of the two fan favourites here. It'll be a shame to see either party leave. Demogorgon in the Eyrie of Crows. Big matchup here against a resurgent Trapper who is putting lots of good performances forward. These killers so far have been fallible. There has not been the smorgasbord of 4Ks to which we've become accustomed. Demo looking to change that here. Dash gets around to the window, vaults it, and then heads upstairs. 2 people upstairs here. Well worth taking this chase if you Demo. Oh, hang on. There's a drop down now. Interesting. Goes to the shred. Quicker recovery from the shred. Keeps Ash on the periphery. Very good stuff for Demo. That's exactly what he needed. Does he have a pain res hook anywhere here? Yes. Okay, a flying start for Demogorgon. Exactly what the Demogorgon camp would have been looking for from their guys. There was someone upstairs, but maybe not worth testing the waters. Get your portal out there. Kind of forgot about the portals with all the hubbub and hullabaloo of the opening chase. There is a boon in play, but not Shadow Step, as Demo sees some scratch marks here. Different kind of game to that to which we've become to which we've become accustomed in the round of 16, relying on Surge, on pain rares for gem regression. So maybe not too worried about kicking gems here. Oh, that is unbelievably unfortunate. Felt for all the world like a hit. No matter, teleports back to main. So there is no movement there. Boon's still in play upstairs. Bit of movement there, not that much more than there was last time. If indeed there is any more than there was last time, gets rid of the Boon. Tough stuff. Even that one whiff on Sable is a shame. They're going to get the portal there. The injury on Ash. Demo hoping here that going after Ash may elicit some protection hits, some body blocks from the team. Maybe slow them down a little bit. That's what he's hoping for. That will be a dying state. There should be a hook barring DS. There it is. Okay. Back to main with the portal. So there's a lot more gem movement over here now. And that's who was moving the gem, it's Lara. And what you could do if you demo. Big gem movement already. Chase has been a bit hard to come by and a bit slow when they have happened. Maybe. There's a real opportunity to get Ash out of the game. Demo's not going to do it, not immediately. As they go window, do they come back? They do not. Bolting. So just ran past. Big opportunity here for Demo. Good dying stay there. Good commitment to the shred. As Ash sticks around to get the portal. Very bold from Ash. And he might pay the price for it there. It's gonna be a kill. Ash had every opportunity to vacate the premises, stuck around to get rid of the portal for some reason. And it's a more noble killer than this Demogorgon who doesn't go after them in such a situation. So, one survivor gone. What a situation for Demo. Benefiting hugely from that. Should be getting a hook here, another pain res, eventually. Boil over, just moving them this way and that. And heading back to Kate Denson on Shack. Big opportunity here for Demo with the shred. As they go window, there's the injury. More here. Oh, they're not even going for that pallet in the end. They'll be going for this one. Shred. Quick recovery. Keeping him in the corner. And it's classic Demogorgon here, performing very, very well indeed. Oh, good stuff, though, from them. Oh, and they stiptic behind the rock. Really should have been thinking about that one, Demo. Only one reason why someone like that would run up to you and try and take the hit that quickly is because they've got the stiptic. Now, is Sable going to ruin Kate's move here? Good play from Sable. Needs to go after the injured party here, does Demo. And if only Demo had waited out the stiptic there, we'd be looking at a far better situation. As Kate's shirt is flashing red and white there, very peculiar. Not sure what's going on with that. Nonetheless, over to this tile. Oh, they drop the pallet, but they move around. Finding ways to be evasive here, and this could be turning a very good game state into a bit of a ruinous one for Demo. Do they go for the pallet? They do. It's a great fake out. It's a great fake out. They found their looping boots, and make no mistake, and this is all because Demo wasn't able in the heat of the moment to wait out the stiptic. Window's gone. Back to the pallet. Using that well. There goes the gen. Dodge to the right. There it is. Well anticipated by Demo. Right, well, good lord in heaven, what a rough chase that was. Giving the survivors a leg up here, giving them some actual hope. Oh dear, you can tell how rattled he is. It's a rookie Demo error to not go for the shred. And to instead swing too early and get the M1. There's some movement here. Boone in play as well. Getting rid of that. Really should have set up a portal. If he'd thought to set up a portal earlier, and maybe this is the tilt coming through after that lengthy chase. If he'd set up a portal earlier, he would have been right back on them and maybe an opportunity to put pressure on the unhook. As it stands. Back much later. Has to take a chase with Sable. And they've probably seen through that. So it gets the pallet. Might be a drop. No, they fake. Okay, this should be an M1. Perhaps a shred. Oh, not able to get the shred out there. What's going on with Demo? They're in his head. They've rattled him. And they won't... Oh, they do vault. Was that quick and quiet? How did you not hear that? Gotta kick the pallet. Things are looking grim indeed for Demo. Take out the shred to get the M1. Should connect here. It'll be close. Gets it through the pallet. But that penultimate gen does pop. The pallet's gone. Just waiting until they commit to the vault before shredding. Good play. This will not be a pain res token, by the way. Kate has that pain res token, and of course, so does Lara. Okay. He's going to put a portal down now. Looking for where the gens are. One over there. Just needs to see if it's moving. It isn't. This is the gen that is moving. Somewhat. Into Lara. Such a good get. Okay, and enforcing them away may be an opportunity for Demo to interrupt the healing that could be going on here. There it is! Oh, and they just finished the heal. Unbelievably unfortunate. Endurance from somewhere. I don't know what's going on with that one. Could be we're going to live forever. Maybe. I don't know. Don't ask me. I just work here. Kate Denson, doing really well. Vaulting. Fine, stay there. Now, however, there is pain res to be gained from Kate. And both other parties injured, so maybe the needle has swung ever so slightly back in Demogorgon's favour. This, obviously, the gen that will have been hit by pain res and is regressing nicely. Injured party upstairs. Presumably. There they are! Injury there. And it could be all over. Oh, they're going one another's way! Sable attempts to flee the scene. Demo wants it all right here, right now. Taking the chase. Going down the stairs. Oh. Had the move there, but wasn't able to land on the stairs. And that should be game. And that should be the 12 hook stages with one gen remaining. And that leaves Trapper with it all to do. Assuming that Demo can get to a hook, but Sable isn't wiggling, so all's well that ends well. Oof, what a game. We are very back and forth. Demo does enough. He gets to 4K with one gen remaining. Trapper, Haddonfield. Haddonfield is not the map that you were looking for. Does have a reasonably good basement if he can make it happen, but the margins for error are so slim. And what's the one thing that survivors are going to do when they see it's Trapper? Keep the hell away from basements. However, there is someone right here who's just crouching behind this fence. As they do not drop the pallet, indecisive, they run back into the house. This could be huge for Trapper. This could be exactly what he was looking for, heading upstairs. Alright, the quicker you can get the opening hook, the quicker you can start the basement rolling, the happier you are. Remember, Trapper is on the clock, and the clock is consisting of gens. Dying state there. Can he get all the way down to basement? Gotta be able to here, right? With agitation as well. Very doable. Okay. Well, point one of the several point plan is in effect. Basement Trapper is going to get his basement hook. Right on the side there. Okay. Needs to get these traps down as swiftly as possible. You don't want to give away the anti-camp unhook here. Because there goes gen number one. He can suffer a few gens to pop. He can't suffer 4 gens to pop. There you go. Okay, so does need to keep the gens a little bit stalled out here. Can't just let them all go. But hopefully has the basement under control. It's a second gen pops, okay. He can afford 2 gens popping, that's okay. Now taking the chase, not too bad, although what Claudette will probably want to do is moving as far away from the basement as possible. And he hears a trap disarm, so he moves in. Do they feel the pressure? Do they step into a trap? And where are they? There's the unhook. They've done well. They've done very well here. Who got the unhook? They've got to still be down here. Dying state there. Where on earth could they be? Disarming up there? Looks like they somehow got around Trapper. Unideal. It will be a kill. It's a very early kill. But you really needed the basement to do a little bit more for you. Resetting this. Is there a survivor still around here? He disarmed that, so they're probably gone. An early kill, which theoretically is very good, but it's just not quite the snowball that you would have wanted to have seen. Just need to get someone back down to basement. You need them there very quickly. Oh, there's another gen pops, and that doesn't connect somehow. A very, very fine line now for Trapper. Needs to get the 4K. Only has 1 gen to play with. And needs to keep Claudette around this side, but they have these pallets which are very, very rough for Trapper. And they know exactly what Trapper wants. They know that he wants to get them over to basement. Oh, hang on, hang on, hang on. Well, this is looking good. It is obviously all for naught. If David and Meg are working on separate gens, all these efforts are fruitless. But Claudette absolutely playing into Trapper's hands. That Styptic is not going to fall for that. Seen that too many times already. They need to desperately find the pallet. They won't be able to, and that'll be a dying state. And we'll be able to get back down to basement. Jen is moving upstairs, and it pops. Okay, so Trapper cannot secure the win as it stands, but is not yet eliminated. The moment another gem pops, he is gone. But for now, he is still in contention. Resets that trap there. The gems are so distant and so likely to be moving. As he resets this. And there it goes, and he's done. He's done. The team have countered what he was trying to do. Credit to them. Their gens are gone, and so is the chance of a World Cup victory for the Trapper. He's eliminated. Well done to the Demogorgon, who, through some adversity, put together a really solid performance. Trapper gave it all he could, but wasn't quite able to do enough. Trap there. They know that the gate's right there. They'll get out. Ooh, hang on. Some disarming going on. You're just hoping that David falls for one of those traps. If he steps in a trap, he will not be able to free himself. He disarms the trap on the top of basement. There's still 1 on the stairs and 2 hidden below. Gets the unhook. Into a trap goes Claudette. Does that buy Trapper enough time to get this dying state? Well, he does get the dying state. There's a heal going on over there, so maybe time for the hook. There is a dying state. Dave moved in for the unhook and should get it here. And that should be GG, unless you can keep on Dave. Dave taking a bit of a weird line. Doesn't matter. GG. GG. And that will end up being 6-7 hooks for Trapper. Not enough. A really spirited effort there. Gave it his all. Just comes up short. So, Demogorgon progresses. Will be the first killer in our third quarter-final. They'll be taking on Cenobite or the Unknown. Torment Creek for Cenobite. Big matchup here against the Unknown. Needs a strong start. The difference between the winners and losers in around the 16 so far. How quickly can you find your survivor? How quickly can you put them on a hook? Finds Ada very quickly here. Gateway out there. It's a bad miss, but you can't let that get to you. In the pallet. And Ada knows exactly what Cenobite's all about here. Chance for the injury here. Nope, should burn the pallet. Yep. And they will not want to burn the pallet here. They may well run through. If they do burn the pallet, yeah. I was going to say, it would have been a huge, huge get for Cenobite. Someone's on dull totems, by the way, so a chance here for an immediate Pentimento totem. Cenobite absolutely going to take that on. And that just connects. Very, very fortunate. Almost sent that directly into the ground itself. So, lots to like there. Lots to like. Pain res. A gem pops, unfortunately. Pentimento, however, in play. And wanted to teleport to Bill, but not quite able to do so. As there is Deadlock. Deadlock on that gen. Which again, maybe there's a bit of anti-synergy between Deadlock and Pain Rares, now you think about it. No matter. No matter. On with the game. Can't worry about such things now. As the chains connect, and Dwight will just get the window, so breaking the door. And Gateway doesn't quite connect through the hay bales. Good injury. Basically guessed at where Dwight would be. They go for the blind again. Good gateway there. After a few early misses, doing well with the chains, keeping Dwight from getting too much distance. Stuck in the doorway, that was a bit unfortunate. Have a good gateway there. And that is emphatic from the Cenobite. One more chain in the dying state. Have that, sunshine, says the Cenobite. As there goes Plaything, so another chance for Pentimento. Pain Revs in play. Where's this box? Any chance of denying that? No way. No way. Nowhere near close enough there. There's another chance of Pentimento right there. So, Pentimento stack. 2 in play. A third over there. This slows the game down a hell of a lot. And a non-zero chance. If they keep on cleansing these dull totems, a non-zero chance you might be staring down the barrel of a 5 Pentimento totem game. I can't remember the last time we saw such a thing. I seem to recall it was Artist, but never mind, as they get rid of Pentimento there. So, no 5 stacks. Still 2. Pretty important. There's your unhook. And it is Bill. And, you know, you'd be happy to go after Bill or after Dwight. This puts a lot of pressure on. If we're going to run interference, okay. Nice easy hit on Bill. Nothing wrong with that. Chain up ahead. Ooh, well played from Bill. Ducking and diving, zigging and zagging. And eluding Cenobite in the gateway there. Good stuff. Not going to miss on that occasion. And that will be another dying status. There's another opportunity for a Pentimento totem. Big gem movement here. Well worth pain res. Especially before Deadlock. comes into play. So that is now regressing. Ada did go off in this direction. They have the box somewhere. Presumably somewhere on this side of the map. So that's the unhook. There is the box. Right there. Too far away to really do anything about, one would wager. Pretty close. Pretty close. Been a bit unfortunate for Cenobite. When Cenobite has these big dominant games, it's so often because they find the person solving the box and they get the chain hunt moving and they go through that cycle. Not been able to do so here. Having a decent game nonetheless, but, you know, it's not a done deal for these survivors. They're still in with a chance. And that's not quite going to connect. However, maybe forcing the pallet burn here. No, they keep on moving. Well played by Ada. Not fooled at all by Cenobite, and that won't connect either. Okay, gotta go. Big gen movement here. Oh, Bill gets grabbed. Committed to the gen. You can understand the rationale, but it was the wrong move. Easiest hook of all time for the Cenobite, and able to get that gem regressing. And that is just a demoralizing factor there for these survivors. There goes Pentimento, but still one totem left there. That has been doing obscene work, and possibly a big part of the reason why it's still a 4-gen game. Never mind, it's a 3-gen game. Good play from Ada again. This Ada is very comfortable around the Cenobites, not letting any of them connect, and maybe someone who you don't want to spend too much time chasing. Cenobite looking for an injury here. Might be able to get it. Window's gone, vaulting after them, another chain connects, and do they get the pallet? They do. At least pallet's gone. Gabe on the box. Is it deniable? No. Again, really, really unfortunate. Not able to disrupt the boxes whatsoever. Gets the regression here at least. Scratch marks there. Oh dear. Oh dear, Bill. Oh dear, Bill. Bill might have just handed the keys to the kingdom to Cenobite. Wrong place, wrong time. 3 survivor game state and Pentimento behind to keep the end game stalled out. What a situation. Oopsie daisy. What a situation for Cenobite. So, Gabriel on the box over here. You would imagine there's gem movement, indeed there is. And the chains hit on Dwight. And Gabe was not there to get rid of the chains, which is maybe what Dwight was hoping for. Faking out the kick, moving around, not a bad move. Gateway right out there. Good connection. That's a dying state. Is Gabe going to look for a pallet save? Hoping to block out the pallet. And will do. Good stuff from Cenobite. Yet the rare oopsie daisy in the commentary there. You can tell things have gone very wrong when I pull that one out. And both survivors ahead of him, including Ada on the box over there. Shunning the chase with Gabe. Wanting to get the chain hunt out there at a very pivotal time. Oh, good attempt at a dodge. Won't quite make it happen. Chains in play.
Now you must come with me.
So there you go. That is exactly what Cenobite wanted. And now might be able to wrap this game up with 2 gens still remaining, which would be a very, very, very strong position for Cenobite to find himself in. Gabe taking a hit. Again, chain hunt in play. Any one chain connecting could ruin the chase for Gabe. Cenobite going to add some of his own. They connect. And denying the pallet. Maybe denying the box. Oh. Dwight exactly where he needed to be. But great intel here for Cenobite. knowing that Dwight is off in this corner. Can you spy the scratch marks? Progression there. Okay, if you're Dwight, never mind. How did Dwight do that? Manages to go around, get the unhook there. It's about going after Gabe. Good gateway again. After some early misses with the gateway, he has been clinical with that M2 since. And as soon as the vault animation begins, you know there's no chance of dead hard, so swinging away, getting the dying state. And once again, then there was one. Dwight, who originally went in this direction. Gem movement here. This could have been where Dwight was. Maybe moving over to Shack, anticipating a hatch game. Getting the vantage point here. It does seem for all the world like a hatch game is likely. If you had the box at any point, that could be a good way of working out where your final survivor is. Okay, so looking to deny the hatch. Could be adrenaline. No adrenaline, okay. And the chain hunt is just going to begin, so very, very, very tough to see a way out of the gates of Dwight. It's looking like it may well be the full 4K, and still 2 gems necessary for the survivors. Great game state. Is that dead hard? Hold on. Hold on. A possible twist in the tail. Dwight isn't done yet. Dwight's done.
What a waste of good suffering.
GG. So, the full 4K for Cenobite. And with 2 gens left at the moment that hatch was shut. Very strong performance. Unknown has it all to do. RPD for the Unknown. And it finds itself in a situation where the moment that 4 gens complete, the Unknown is eliminated. Needs to get a 4K and needs at least 2 gens remaining. 3 gens remaining would progress it through to the quarterfinals. So, big situation here. UVX connects. Just needs to play its own game. Can't become too worried about the situation. If you get the hooks, the results will come. Oh, that was a surprising interaction with the UVX. Didn't quite land the blast area where the Unknown expected. That's a dying state. Okay, trying to put the Unknown in a hole. Won't quite work out. So, hook here. Decent enough opening chase. There for the Unknown. Big gem movement. Down here. And Unknown will be able to kick. Big pop poser weasel play there. And the undetectability. Very important as the scratch marks just end. What on earth went on here then? What on earth went on here? Oh, they doubled back around here. Good play. Confusing play. Certainly did enough to send the Unknown every which way. As UVX connects, looking for the injury, gets it. Now going after Ace. And if the Unknown can keep on getting the dying states, getting the pop goes to weasel kicks, then it will be in fantastic shape. But, unfortunately, just too much pressure on that middle gem. That's okay. Can afford a gen popping here. Oh, great injury. Don't even know how that connected. They were going upstairs. But unfortunately, another gen does pop. It is a game cartridge, so there is bountiful weaken status out there. Well played from V, not falling for that again. UVX in play. Oh, and the blast area doesn't go far enough. They don't burn the pallet, however. Which is going to be fine to get there. Nice. The slow volts trying to confuse unknown. Countered competently. Another hook, but the margins of error, the margins for error, I should say, are so slim right now. Getting the kick on the closest gen that's available, taking a chase. As they get around for the unhook, they do. UVX connects on V. Back on Ace here, who is stuck. And can't do too much against that. Never mind, it misses. Oh dear. And the UVX is gone. Do they get the M1 here? They don't. And you feel like when you have such limited opportunities here, you've got to be making those kind of connections. The dying state was right there. There goes that third gen. And the unknown is one gen pop away from elimination. Getting the hook here. Hanging on by a thread. By the skin of its teeth. As they go this way, looking to dispel hallucination. They do not. Injury there. Well, well, well. If you can get the dying state quickly enough. Just being foiled by the objects here, and there goes the pallet. And it really feels like a matter of not if, but when. As they vault, well done. There's Styptic again. Seeing a lot of Styptic plays. They're going to get the pallet. But there's the grab. Okay, good counter up to Styptic. Even that 5 seconds that they bought could be enough, though. Teleporting just to get back on the gen as quickly as possible. All it takes is one survivor on one of these gens, and the unknown is done. Having a glance. No movement here. Checking outside. Big movement there, okay. Glad to be here as the unknown. As there is a dying state. And an injury on Ace. Huge, huge, huge play for the unknown. They've got a toolbox. So the unknown kind of has to slug here. And all of a sudden, is there hope? Teleporting up here. Heading to the hook. There's the unhook. UVX connects. Alright, alright, alright. Needed something like this to bring this back. It's still not over, and you were hoping that maybe the UVX could connect through the wall. It just doesn't. Oh, and goes the wrong way entirely. Gets completely fooled by the scratch marks. And these near misses the UVX have been ruinous. It'll be an injury here. Injury into a possible teleport. Quick as you can, quick as you can. There it is. Oh, it could have been dead hard. It really could have been. Okay, so unknown. Going to take the hook here. Needs to get back to the outside gen. Kick it with Pop Goes a Weasel. If it can do that, the unknown still has a chance. A theoretical chance, a slim chance, but a chance nonetheless. No easy teleport opportunities out there. Maybe just something like this to keep them off guard. Oh, there's big gem movement. Oh, and there's big gem movement, but forcing them away. A massive kick there. So our bloodstains heading upstairs. Or at least they were. Teleport down here. Hoping to catch someone as they move in for the unhook. Oh, and here they come. It's Ace. It's Kate. Presumably V hanging around for the gen. It's Kate going around this way. Able to push them away. UVX. Is Ace able to move in quickly enough? A big, big opportunity here if the Unknown can secure that kill. UVX, can you get a dying save with it? Yes! Oh, but they get the unhook. They get the unhook. Go for the blind. Bold. Very bold. Ace! Goes for the Sabo, doesn't quite make it, and that could be a game-saving play for the Unknown. Gets the hook. Does Ace keep on moving? It's a gem props and it's all over! It was V! Injured V outside. The Unknown did its level best to keep this game under control, but just didn't have the opportunity to stop them from getting the gen. And it's all over. A really, really unfortunate way to bow out. Did everything it could. But we will be saying goodbye to the Unknown. A Cenobite on the back of an incredibly strong performance, has to be said. Does get the win. Oh, what the game is looking like, though. Even to run it that close is very impressive. Hello there. UVX connects. They go upstairs, they do. There's Ace. UVX again, just misses. And it really is a story of what if for the Unknown. Some really near misses for the Unknown. If even a few of those are connected, maybe it would have had enough to bring this back. Alas. Okay, UVX at least pushes Kate away from the pallets. I'll find another one up here. Playing for pride now, the Unknown, of course. Getting the hook here. Opportunity. Pop goes Weasel behind. Kick out there. There was an injured party who was moving that gem, who maybe didn't go as far away as they could have. Not sure. Unless there's Ace. Get a bit more distance on the UVX. There you go. That's what he's been needing. Longer distance on the UVX, just connecting there. And it has still been a sensational game from the Unknown. Not an easy game. But a well-played game, and that'll be a hatch situation for V. Fitting that it is V who did plunge the dagger into the heart, the presumptive heart of the Unknown. There goes final gen. Does UVX connect? It doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, but what? Hatch was there. It must have spawned just as they left. Does this UVX connect? Oh, my word. My word. They must have ran over it just as it spawned. They'll be kicking themselves there. Just missed it. Talking of just missing, another UVX goes wayward. And they did not go upstairs. Plenty of teleport opportunities here. GG. GG. What a game. What a send-off. Ooh. And the hook just respawns. Oh, what a gift. So that is a 4K performance, but on the gen differential, Cenobite takes it. So your third quarterfinal game will be Demogorgon versus Cenobite, with an 80s matchup there, perhaps. There are 2 matchups left. Onryo versus Huntress, Xenomorph versus Freddy. Start with Sadako. Sadako is on Swamp. One thing that she has been unable to obtain, Sadako, condemnation kills. The inexorable stare, that really impactful Mori that she can get from teleportation. Not seen too much of that. So there is a survivor around the back of this building. Big opportunity here for Sadako. Ace Visconti, opening chase. Opening injury. Okay. It's demanifestation. Heading to Shack. Do they go window? They do. Have to burn pallet. Burn pallet or dying state. What is it? Burns pallet. Burns pallet. Team won't thank him, but I suppose you got to do what you got to do. Teleporting down to the middle. Maybe cutting ahead of Ace. Not bad from Sadako. They burn the pallet again. There's the kick. So some good map management here. And possibly another teleport. Keeping Ace on his toes, dropping down. Barring balance landing, that should be all she wrote for this chase. It will be. Just maybe a bit too early on the swing there. All's well that ends well. However, a gen does pop. So maybe an argument that you don't go for pain res. However, when one gen pops, another soon follows in an early game. So she will go for the pain res hook and puts herself in amongst a couple of gens right over here. This one isn't moving. There is a bit of gen movement over here. And there they are. It's Serena. They have a tape. Hold on. Trying to ascertain whether they are going to try and go for a TV. Teleporting ahead of them could be very, very good. However, there is big gen movement over here. So Sadako going to pivot over to Fung. Look for the injury here. Doesn't quite get it. The pre-drop. Oh, they were thinking about going for the blinds. They choose not to. They just get some distance. Probably a good call. Another pallet here. Another drop. Stopping, staring, vaulting, moving. Big opportunity still here for Sadako. Ah, that could have been live. That was more distance than you would have imagined for Fung. Just faking out the manifestation in the hope that it got the goods there. Right, so Chemical Trap is gone. Ace. Right here, injury there. Getting the kick of the gen, eventually. And again, condemnation, a very important part of Sadako's arsenal here. This needs to be teleporting routinely. Oh, we didn't want to teleport there. That's still regressing. Maybe over here, taking a bit of the time out. Ooh! As Fun was here, trying to get rid of a tape, it seems like. So hold on just a second. As that television goes. I only see one Sadako perk. Oh, bloody hell. Alright, well here's the thing. One Sadako perk. This means that Sadako has to play out the game. And what happens, as there's condemnation, what happens is the Huntress team, based on the result, can choose to accept it or force the replay. The fault is said to be with Sadako, They have to play out the game, and then depending on the result, Huntress can either accept it or ask them to replay. Big, big, big blunder by the Sadako camp, and they are being punished for it. So, she's got to play like her life depends on it. She does not want to be saddled with a bad result, and this opens up some strategy for the Huntress camp. What is the benchmark score? What would they be happy to go against here? As it stands, taking Daryl on a merry little chase around Maine, this is not how you get a good result under your belt. Good stuff from Daryl. A click and he's away. Possible roll. Nice. Oh, they were on the other side. They were on the other side. Big error from Sadako, and I think that ultimatum, as she's getting the information in her headset from her team now, I think that information has her rattled. Daryl Volts, it will be a mistake. Had condemnation, I think, on Feng Min, but just was not able, in amongst all the hubbub, to do anything with it. So, over to the Scourgehook. Feng, going for the blind, doesn't get it. Things are not looking good for Sadako. But it is early days here. Oof. To get the power, get the stun. Just overcommitting some of these chases. It's another pallet there. Has to flee the scene. Up to the jetty. If this is a bad match for Sadako, it might be better for Huntress to keep the match. Precisely. There we go. That's fun. Gets another pallet. Comes back, stares. And Sadako is unraveling here. The only thing that can be said for her is that at least the team do not appear to be moving generators in any appreciable way. And she gets rid of another tape there, denies an opportunity for the teleportation, as they don't touch again. Oh, Sadako. Oh, goes to the wrong television. Oh, and that could have been so much better for her as a gem pops. And they get rid of that tape. They take a dying state, and it is a valuable hook for Sadako. But hooks have been hard to come by for her. Gems have been very easy for this team. Daryl getting the flashbang. Injury there. Gets to Shag again. Lots of good stuff happening in Shag. It was Shag pallet destroyed all that time ago. It has not hurt this team whatsoever. They're doing good stuff with the window. Very confident team, it seems like. Oh! There's Daryl. Runs into Sadako. She'll get a hook. Did see Zarina there, but there goes the gen. It is going to be No Way Out. How quickly does No Way Out activate? There it is. There's Arena, and they'll take chase off to the right. As it stands, it has to be said that Huntress would seem to be pretty happy with the game state, but with No Way Out, still every chance that Sadako could get a few more hook states. Is it going to try for the log? And quick vault there, very impressive. Gotta head back to the hook. No Way Out, 3 stacks. That will prevent gates being open for some time, but not for a very long time. 2/3 of the way through No Way Out right now. And just really desperately needs another hook for the endgame. Something to protect. weird stuff going on for Sadako, lunging around the stairs. Hey, if it works, I guess who's to argue? There is a hook. It'll be her 5th, but now the gates are available. Gonna try and play aggressively here is Sadako, as the gate is 99'd. And there goes Arena. Hoping for an early pallet drop. Doesn't get it, but does get an injury. And they move this way. Very surprising line from Zarina. That'll just be a die state. Never mind, it's a dead heart. Oh, should have seen that one coming. Is it perfectly 99? It is. And Zarina's gone. And the unhook over here, that could be a ruinous dead heart. And if Sadako doesn't get another hook, it has to be said, you're feeling pretty good about Huntress's chances of matching or beating 5 hooks. And there's nothing she can do. It's all over unless someone makes a mistake. She's going to pull out all the stops here. Unstectability moving in. And that won't do a damn thing. 5 hooks. I'm going to quickly go to the Huntress camp. Huntress camp, are you happy to take on 5 hooks? Yes. Okay, so Sadako broke the rules. Did not run 2 of her own perks. But has most definitely not benefited. 5 hook total. A very easy to match score for Huntress. Yamaoka for Huntress. Decent map for her. She's had good performances here before. No stranger to this environment. And once again, a relatively simple total put forward by Sadako. I'm just feeling very confident about this one. There's a run and the immediate quick bolts as they go to Shack, and good dodge. Good dodge. Sending out a hatchet, just in case. And that misses as well. Okay, doesn't want to become embroiled, too embroiled in a Shack chase. The one thing that could give Sadako a way through is a massive, overlong early engagement. That's what that looked like it could have ended up being. Going after Yunjin here. Big opportunity for a hatchet. And will connect. Good stuff. And they don't burn the pallet. One little moonwalk could be all you need here. We've got some big distance there. Good stuff from Huntress. Turned the corner. Made the play. There goes Huntress Lullaby. But that is a much more preferable sound to that of a gen completing. Pain res. And that is not the gen that gets hit by pain res. Not a lot of movement over there. 3 hatchets in play. No movement here. Okay, reloading. Gives unstectability as well. Aha. There goes V, who of course was the survivor embroiled in the Shack chase earlier. Much better environment for Huntress here, much happier to take on this kind of a chase. Stopping, staring, and a big opportunity for the hatchet here. Oof! They get the vault quickly enough. Well done. Ooh. Just caught by them. Can't be missing those. Really can't be missing those. That is ruinous. No choice but to roll your eyes at such a miss. That is not what the Huntress is usually about. And this V is proving nigh on unhittable. Big gem movement there. They burn the pallet. And not going for the vault. Should be an injury here. Gotta move away from that chase. It's not what she wants to be doing. Finding much better opportunities elsewhere. I think already there's a clear plan of action for the Huntress, and that involves staying away from V. Can't get rattled by this, but things are not looking good for the Huntress here. Some disappointing early engagements, and even if she does enough to get the win, this is worrying for upcoming games. If Huntress loses here, can she still call for a redo of the Sadako match? No. No, that's locked in now. That's locked in, so 5 hooks is the total to beat. 6 hooks is the total to gain. If she can't do that, she's out. But 2 relatively early hooks, feeling pretty good about that. As there is... Pain res on this upstairs gen. This is Michaela, okay. Anyone who isn't V, Huntress has a green light to chase. So, take it on Michaela, seeing what they're about. Good duck there. So there goes a gen, and it is Shaq. Trying to get around the corner there, just sends the hatchet a bit too far to the left. It finds Locker rather than Survivor. Just a moment here, and that should connect, and it will. Ooh, and Michaela runs right back at Huntress. Takes a second hook. Assuming there's no pallet stun, it will be the third hook. Halfway there is Huntress, and only 1 gen completed. So things are, despite some frankly embarrassing early efforts in chase, she's still looking good here. So scratch marks heading to the right, and then back again. Confusing stuff, not entirely sure where they went. Just reloads. Kicks the gen. As this gen pops. Is it V? It is. No chance. No chance. Maybe better off even just going back to the hook here, knowing that there's two far more chaseable targets. So goes Michaela. 3, 2, 1. Send it. Oof. Trying to predict where they were. Is this Yunjin? They do vault. Good call from the Huntress. Should allow either the M1 or the hatchet here. Oh, good fake out from Yunjin. It should still be an injury. You'd much rather it was a hatchet hit, and in doing that, she's given away the opportunity for an injury. Oof, Huntress has let perfect be the enemy of good. Wanted the slightly more efficient hatchet hit. Oh, and can't contend with the dodge. She's in trouble again. She's in severe trouble again. As they do burn down the pallet. Hoping they run. Oh. And she's being countered and curtailed at every point. Okay. They for some reason leave the pallet. They really shouldn't have. They were doing some good stuff there. As there's V. I think V has the sense that they've got the Huntress's number and are being avoided here. So therefore they're trying to take chase as much as they can. 4 hooks. 1 more required to keep Huntress safe. And then the one after that will be sending her through to the quarterfinals. Says V. Gets round the door, round the doorway, not going after them. Maybe at this point, with 2 gens still to play with. Oof, but as you say that, there goes that one. Maybe you're inviting a different survivor to move in for the unhook. There goes V all the way over there. They're going to be moving in for the unhook. Nothing she can do about that. Presumably gen moving over here. There's someone on the periphery. Great intel there. Exactly what she needed. It's Felix. And look at that. What a chase. Okay, that was strange, but nonetheless, a fine chase. Good situation. Capitalized well. So, Huntress matches the 5 hook total. 1 more needed and she's through. It has not been convincing. And it will not make them feel good about the quarterfinals if they do end up getting there. But, looks like she may have done enough. Keeps on finding V. The person she most desperately does not want to chase. Although, Takes a weird line there, does V. Maybe they are fallible. Maybe there is a chance. No hatchets. No hatchets is so tough, but they're not to know that. This is ruinous. The one way that Huntress can lose this is doing something as stupid as taking a chase with a stronger survivor, sans hatchets. What's she doing? Exactly that. Okay, she at least finds a way to reload here. And it might actually be a big opportunity against V now. Need them to make one mistake on the pallet. But this is V we're talking about. And this is a pallet on which they've proven very comfortable in the past. Gotta vault here, surely. They don't! They are not making life easy for the Huntress. She's missed in exactly the same way. What's going on? I think she's just trying to brute force this last hook. But she could lose the game very easily. Adrenaline could be in play. What is she doing here? Kick the damn pallet, you fool, says the Huntress camp. And finally, she obliges. Goodness gracious me. It is at least not adrenaline. And thank God she only needs one hook. Even that could be in jeopardy here. Oh, thank God. Undeserved, but the final hook obtained. And it will be Huntress progressing to the quarterfinals. But it was the opposite of convincing. Unconvincing is the word. There's the unhook. Oh, and missing just layups. Layups that the survivors are offering. Well, definitely, I mean, you've booked your place in the quarterfinals, and that's great. In a 40-killer tournament, there's, you know, reasons to be cheerful when you make it through to the last 8. But lots to work on for the Huntress. And Sadako's hopping back into the well, indeed. As here goes V. They're feeling very confident in going for this save, and why not? Why not with what they've done so far? It's been one of the most demoralizing games I think Huntress has had in a very long time, and it is almost stunning that it will end in a victory of sorts. A victory by the most technical of definitions. Good hatchet there, maybe the first of the game. Oh my dear me, and V's going to get left. After such a superb performance. V's probably going to get left on hook here. How is there not time to open that gate? That is stunning. It will end up being an 8-hook performance for the Huntress. Presumably, or 9 if V is left on hook. Okay, Yunjin not there. There is the unhook. And scratch marks heading this way. Presumably circling around here. Yep. There's V. One hatchet to end it here. Good protection hit. GG. Alright, so it is 8 hooks to end it. It was a low bar. And she almost stumbled on it, but she does surpass it. And will be our penultimate killer in the quarterfinals. Will they be against Xenomorph or Freddy? We'll find out now. Last round of 16 game. Here we go. Xenomorph in Badham. Another instance of Badham here. We're seeing a lot of this map, unfortunately, for the killers. It's the usual Xenomorph routine. Down into the tunnel. Wrong room. Down into the tunnel. Get that crawler mode. Establish where the team are. from footsteps or from gen movement. Whatever you hear, whatever you see, that's where you go. And there you go. Okay, so footsteps here. And Xenomorph just had an unbelievably good outing in the final group game. Looking for the same here. Someone down below, good to know. Was that very nearly got rid of the tail attack mode. Unfortunately for Nicolas Cage, it did not. Didn't need it anyway. There's a dying state. And some good intel over there from that purple add-on, which is such a good add-on. So much intel from it. So, Hook here. Gonna head downstairs, get the gen kicked with Pop Goes the Weasel. Get some good regression out there. And an injury. Bit of a freebie. Now, will Sable panic? Keep on running. Will Xenomorph meet them up the top here? They're somewhere here. Flame turret. They have a pallet, but they don't burn it. And that's another great dying state for Xenomorph. What a strong start. And Freddy, who is fallible. Freddy has not been one of the more confident killers here. Freddy already looks like he'll have it all to do. Advantage Xenomorph in the early stages. There does go the gen. The unhook up above. Pallet burnt from Hattie. A chance maybe that Xenomorph can meet them as they go from the unhook there to the unhook here. And won't meet them, but certainly will be able to take an injury. On V. Not much trouble V has posed our killers so far today, so brace yourself for this chase. Decided to get rid of the flame turret. Not a bad call, but it does mean that they lose the upper hand as Xenomorph in this chase. Be taking Xenomorph 2 main building. Ooh. As they do not stick on the pallet for obvious reasons. They vacate the premises entirely. Boon in play. Once again, not all that worried about the boon. Ah, flame turret there. That is important because that does just slow Xenomorph down on these sorts of chases. Prolongs what V already has been doing, and doing very well indeed. There's a boons downstairs. Clearly not Shadow Step. Does beg the question, what is it? Could be Circle of Healing, Exponential, Dark Theory, Illumination maybe, though unlikely. There's a tail attack. Doesn't connect. Oh, damn shame. Does there. And the gen's not moving so much that you need to go to it right away. Xenomorph instead going to get the hook and then go there with pain res, but Hattie is being disruptive, gets the Sabo. That does ruin Xenomorph's plan somewhat. That Sabo, while not denying the hook, does allow him to get that gen. Fantastically irritating for Xenomorph. Good play from Hattie. As they are going to the control station, maybe looking for a turret. Interesting play from Nicolas Cage. It will give away an injury. Tail attack now. And they were maybe looking for the unhook. Hattie gets it. Injury there. Maybe playing a bit aggressively with endurance. Don't want to do that too much. That's only so sporting these killers are willing to be. And all the way to comp corner, no surprises. Should be a makeable hook, nonetheless. This is a little bit out in the weeds. But no doubt about it. The hook will be obtained, and that'll be the fourth for Xenomorph here. Some good counterplays by the team, but it's still looking like a decent game for Xenomorph. Let's get rid of this boon, just in case. Oop. Entering the tunnel. Listening. Oh. And there were some footsteps somewhere around here. Lost the directionality of the thing. They were presumably heading through the school building. Oh. Running headlong towards Xenomorph. Getting an endurance hit, getting a couple of injuries, getting some really good intel. Xenomorph now knows which gens are moving. It's a good window. No chance there. Dying state obtained. It's been one of the fairest games I think we've seen so far today. Hooks spread out very evenly. This will be the second now. Everyone else on one. Into your Sable. Certainly a great situation for Popgoes Weasel. Do they stay here? They do not. They head upstairs. Massive, massive opportunity. Had to have vaulted. It feels almost too fair, this game state. Xenomorph really needs to think about how they're going to get rid of someone. Sable gets a massive distance there, all the way over to that vault. Maybe Xenomorph paying the price for kicking that door. Go around this way. Oh, and they don't burn the pallet, which is outrageous. But it works out for them. Oh, and curtailed by the pipe. And then the flame turret there. That was an agonizing little exchange for Xenomorph. It would be a balm for the soul if you get the death on the hook, but you don't. There's the unhook. This team are giving nothing away. And splitting the posts with the tail attack. Gotta get someone out of here. It's been the key reason why Xenomorph is in such a tough spot, because it's been a 4 survivor situation. Oh my god, and just unbelievably finds a way to get the tail attack out there. Nicolas Cage, maybe looking to be disruptive. Could be 2 for the price of 1 if they stick around. It will be. It was dead hard, didn't matter because it was a whiff. But nonetheless, a chance for a 3 survivor situation. Assuming that you can obtain the hook. And they do, okay. Oh, and there is finally a little bit of alien instinct value. Nicolas Cage over here. They're going for the heal. They won't be able to complete it. Tail attack. There it is. Obviously got dead hard out there earlier. So, a good passage of play for Xenomorph. 1 survivor gone. 2 gens still remain. 7 hooks total. Lots to like. And there's a pretty good 3 gen here if you can keep this downstairs gen on side, and the pop goes a weasel kick goes some way to making that happen. It's still regressing. Good stuff. Good stuff for Xenomorph. Switch marks here. Haddy going for a Sabo for some reason. Good tail attack there. They come back for the pallet stun. Oh, they do not. Maybe could have done even more there. Weird commitment to the pallets on the second time of asking. But eventually does get the dying state nonetheless. What a strange Sabo. What a strange decision. No reason to have done so. It's back immediately. Pretty perfectly in time. So it's big gen movement here. Nicolas Cage committing. Tail attack. Such a perfect time for tail attack to come back, just as they decided to commit to burning the pallet. Couldn't have timed that better if they were controlling it manually, the Xenomorph. No pallet here. Dead hard, remember? Well played, well played, well played, well played. Didn't choose to kick the gen. Wanted instead to make sure that they were moving through the hook stages. Could pay the price for that. Every chance that Haddy and Sable get on that gen, get it popped. That could be impactful down the line. But you've got to be happy with the opportunity to make it a 2 survivor game. And it looks like they haven't actually got back on that gen. Or they get the one downstairs there. Okay, so important kick here. Big movement here. Dying state. Making sure that this is regressing. Making sure that this is regressing. getting the hook. But what they'll do here is not go for that hook. They'll go all the way around the back of the building. Hook as close to Shack as possible to be at Shack for when Hatch spawns. Assuming that Sable is aware that the Hatch Shack offering is in effect. So, gates are in play. It's that game state that every killer prepares for, trains for, and it is a very, very fortunate gate situation here, and there's no way out. To add misery upon misery for Sable here. The deck was stacked from the beginning. GG. GG, and it will be a 4K, a 12-foot performance. With one gen remaining at the end, which could be important in a tiebreaker situation. We go now to what very much could be the last round of 16 game. It'll be Fred. Freddy, last round of 16 game, unless it's a tie. And he's in the groaning storehouse. Been doing a lot of stuff with Dream Snares, not a lot of stuff with Dream Pallets. Probably will get a few out there for down the line. As there is no movement there. It's an absolutely massive map, which is very unideal for Freddy for his playstyle, for what he's looking to do. Dream Snare doesn't really connect. Survivor goes around the outside. So they stay on the tile. They might have. Right this way, okay. Gets a sleep effect on Rip. Which then leaves him vulnerable to another Dream Snare, causing hindrance. In fact, it's live. Oof. Which very nearly gave Fred the dying state there, as it so often does. Hindrance connects as they get to the pallet. They might panic and burn it early. They burn it exactly when they need to. Okay. Tough start this for Freddy. There's a blown skill check over there. Tough to leave a chase with an injured party when you know you need an early hook to get the ball rolling on pain rares and so on. Dream Snare connects for hindrance. Will it be enough? It might not be. They don't panic. They move away. This is exactly the kind of chase that Freddy just could not have early on. Not when the task at hand is so extraordinarily tough. Dream Snare connects. And Rick's burning everything, but it's making it work. One gem popped already. And just needs to move away, and eventually will. But it's a demoralizing start for Freddy, who really needed to get out the gates running. Injury there. And maybe now we'll begin to benefit from all those burnt pallets. There's a chance, but another gem pops. Remember, Xenomorph wrapped up the game with one gem remaining. If the survivors get all 5 gens, it doesn't matter what Freddy can do in the endgame. He is done. Maybe start thinking about getting one hook and then move from there. Because at the moment, he's not shown himself capable of doing just that. And it will be a dying state eventually. And pain res, all important, especially with a start as slow as that. And teleporting over here. There's a lot of movement here. What's scary about that for Freddy is that that could mean that another gen is moving at pace 2, and the pain res just never hit on that gen. As a dream snare connects. Sending Yui into the dream states. They do go window. Well diagnosed by Fred. Has he maybe got a little bit of momentum here? Dream snare connects again. The hindrance sows a bit of discord, a bit of confusion, and that'll be another dying state. Ugh. But for every victory, a more damning loss. And that gem goes. And there's big movement over here, and there's reasonable movement in main building. Neither of which got hit by pain res, which is the scariest thing of all. There could be movement over here. There is big movement over here. It's Rick yet again. Right into another power. Dream snare doesn't quite connect. And the hit denied by, you guessed it, a pallet. And of course, Freddy does have dream pallets, but it's really tough to say that the answer to this question is more pallets. Remember, Freddy can get stunned by his own pallets. It would take a bit of a misplay from Freddy to get there, but it just... It's a part of the arsenal that could be so deleterious, and that he doesn't want to move towards unnecessarily. There goes another pallet. One of those games. One of those games, everyone, when he could least afford it, and it is looking bright and breezy for the Xenomorph. Injury there. Big gem movement. Gotta put a stop to that. But if you're gonna put a stop to that, you probably need to do so with Surge. You probably need to do so with a dying state, but they, as if they know they're moving away. Doomsday. Should have connected. Has connected. Dying state. But there's no pain rares on this survivor. Surge has not activated on any gens. This gen will almost certainly pop. And then don't be surprised if one pops in 3, 2, 1. Okay, never mind. But it surely won't be far away. This one's pretty close. If a gem pops, Freddy is done. If a gem pops, Freddy is eliminated. He needs to find a way of getting 4 kills before that happens. How does that happen? I don't know how that happens. I don't see a way that Freddy can do this. Not to be too pessimistic, and he's going to fight to the bitter end. It just seems like an unbelievably Sisyphean task right now. That's a dream snare. Off to the right, doesn't connect. Another pallet. Give me a break. How many pallets does this guy need to deal with? Dream snare. Didn't connect there. Doesn't matter, there's a dying state. But it won't be pain res here. There are no pain res tokens for this individual. So just hoping against hope that the gens remain stationary for a little while longer. Heading back over here. Okay. Getting it kicked, getting some regression. There just a little bit off to the left. Never kick that one. So get over it easily. And it seems as though the round of 16 will end not with a bang, but with a whimper. As Freddy's just not been able to get anything done. There's another pallet. Gotta go away, gotta go somewhere else. This feels like the next furthest along gen. It's moving, but not too much. And over to Dwight. As a dream snare does connect. but only to put Dwight into the sleep mode. Gets to the vault and gets away. It is joyless stuff for Freddy. And that won't connect, but it does keep him away from Shack. And they'll run all the way through Shack. Get to, unbelievably, another pallet. And not able to drop it, at least. Is there an outside chance that Freddy is going to get this pain wrestle before Gen pops? Yes, just. Just barely. Back to middle Gen. Which has big movement, but is regressing. Then over to Yui, who is on Death Hook. Well, well, well. Is there a chance here? Is there the vaguest inkling of a chance? Dream Snare? Doesn't connect. The gens have completely stalled, and I don't know why this has happened. Whether this is kind of cockiness from the survivors here, but whatever the case, it is keeping Freddy in the game. Dying state there. Surge on the gen to the left. Well. He's at least making a game of it. Is this gen still regressing? It is. It is. Okay, back to the middle. Oh, but there it goes. And it felt like fool's gold, that situation. It felt like the misery was only being delayed rather than stalled indefinitely. And there goes the final gen. And Freddy is out. Xenomorph will be the first killer into the quarterfinals. And now Freddy just got to clean up this mess. Dream Snare connects. Rick tries to shoulder bar Freddy. Freddy? Rick tries to shoulder bar Freddy. My lord. We'll call him Freddy. After this. Dream Snare whiffs. Window obtained. Oh, a step closer and that connects. Freddy, yes indeed. There's your dying state. What's this then? Why? Is this because they're on the gate panels? Why the Killer Instinct? Is that the add-on? Could be the add-on. Right, so injury on Dwight. Should be able to get to the gate here, however, the teleport ahead could be good. They weren't prepared for that, and they're running headlong. Now be a dying state. Okay, so where's the leader? The leader gets the unhook. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Moving in, trying to catch them as they leave. There they are. That Dream Snare connects to anyone. It does not. As Rick gets the vault, that'll be live. Moving in for the save. Okay, teleporting ahead. No! Teleporting to the wrong thing. Freddy is such a joyless. Oh, well, then, sorry. I let my personal feelings get in the way of an impartial commentary. I apologize. I apologize. The opinions do not reflect the brand. Perhaps ill-advisedly, getting some more pallets out there is Freddy. There's Rick, and not going to be able to get out here. Never mind, absolutely is going to be able to get out here. GG! GG. So what's that? That's 8 hooks. 8 hooks for Fred. And an ignoble exit for the Nightmare. So, we are done with a round of 16. As we move on here, the quarterfinals are as follows. Trickster versus Wraith. Houndmaster versus Clown. Demogorgon versus Cenobite, and Huntress versus Xenomorph. So the quarterfinals will act in the same way that the round 16 did. It'll be one matchup. If it's a draw, you go to a gen tiebreaker. If that's equal, you do a replay. And then we have best of 3 for the semi-finals, so we don't need any such gen tiebreakers there.